All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. What's up, Peter?
There we are.
There we are. Okay. Yep. Good morning, friends. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you guys had an amazing day off yesterday, Juneteenth, federal holiday here in the U.S. Markets is closed. School's off. Some people work. Half people working, half people not working. You know, I don't know how they figure that out. But the streets were a mess yesterday, Peter. I'm thinking, you know what? Take the kids out. It's going to be smooth. People are going to be either off the roads or at work. It's like everybody decided to do the exact same thing. Traffic everywhere, accidents. I guess some people just don't know how to drive when it's that packed in the highways. It was just a madness. But nevertheless, a lot of fun. Hope you guys had a great time as well, Peter. How was your day?
Yeah, I hope everybody did something productive one way or the other. Carlos and I were talking right before we got on. It always goes faster than you expect. I always have this big list of things I want to do, and I'm lucky if I get through half of it. So, but it was a good day. And now we're back for a weird Friday, right? So a day off, 1 day of trading, then we go into the weekend. And so far, it's looking like half the market has not showed up, but maybe things will pick up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we sure will. We're going to start by taking a look at our gappers list from tradingterminal.com. So our gap up list, everything in the green so far this morning. I don't see anything in the red right now. And we'll see how things go. Again, a lot of volatility out there with so much going on, as you've been seeing. Again, Iran, Israel kind of taking the bulk of all the headlines that they are right now. But there's still stuff happening. AI is still hot. There's some other things going on that are creating some, hopefully, good opportunities into today as well. Peter, what's happening on the U.S. economic calendar for today?
Yeah, not much. This morning we had the Philadelphia manufacturing survey expected to show contraction in the manufacturing sector, and the forecast was for a negative 1.7. It actually just came out at negative 4. So this is all a relative scale. It's basically a survey of manufacturers and whether their business is expanding or contracting. And it looks like the manufacturing sector in the U.S. is contracting, which is not, I know, what the administration is hoping for, but it seems to be what's happening. So, and this is the third, now it'll be the third month in a row that the data shows contraction in manufacturing. So, first time in a few years since COVID that we've seen that level of contraction. So that's the data we had. And then later this morning, we have what's called the U.S. leading economic indicators. It's just sort of a grouping of indicators expected to show the relative U.S. economy down about 0.1%. We'll see when that comes out. Usually the market doesn't react to that. As Carlos mentioned, there's sort of bigger things happening out there. Certainly with the concern over the situation with Iran and Israel, that's taking a lot of the headlines. The market largely seems to be stable, but not very active as a result of that. And I'm not surprised. You got to think that there's going to be a lot of cautious investing at this point, not certain where things are going to go. And with a weekend coming up, I think this is going to be a pretty quiet Friday. But let's see what's moving. Let's see if we can find some of the hot spots and give you some targets to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's a weird trading day coming off of a holiday into a Friday. It's weird the way things shape out, plus everything going on. So yeah, looking forward to see how this is gonna shape up. Let's start with the first one on here. JFBR. JFBR is the first one on deck this morning off our trading terminal gappers list, up 17%, 3.2 million shares traded. You can see the daily here is lower price stock. The flow also 1.8 million, so it's a low flow ticker, which normally I am not a big fan of, Peter. So I'm going to be skipping on this. This does not look good to me. Very active pre-market activity, but not something I want any part of.
Never heard of this. Jeff's Brands. I don't know. But they received approval. I mean, this seems to be a dual traded offering. I have to assume so because it's an Israeli company. that has got approval for a merger, basically an acquisition. But they said from the TSX, which would be the Canadian Stock Exchange. So this must be traded all over the place. Anyways, they got approval anyways for this. They're calling it an acquisition, but they're also calling it a merger. So I'm not sure which it is. Doesn't matter. Jeff Brands is merging with another company called I don't even know, Fort Products.
Bless you, Peter. All right, there you go.
You know, anyways, something emerging. Sorry about that. Hey, you know, we have had like more pollen this year than I've seen, like piles of it coming off the trees. Like what? Not joking. Like there are piles of it sitting on the sidewalk. Yeah, sometimes I just have to sneeze.
That sucks. We went through that at the start, but now it's all gone. We had so much rain. I think that's kind of helped a lot, wash all that crap away. But yeah, things have not been bad. And my allergies this year has been great. And they say you change every 7 years. Hopefully this next 7 years is something positive. We'll see if that's true. What do the doctors say in the house? Any doctors in a YouTube and our chat? Is that a thing?
I never heard that. Your allergies change every 7 years?
Yeah, because something like that. I mean, because I was complaining with my doctor. Listen, I never had allergies before. I'm the guy that was swimming in the grass and my eyes were perfectly fine. And from 1 year to the next, the minute I stepped outside, I was sneezing and eyes itching like if I had sand. It was really bad, Peter, for a couple of years. And they said they could change over time. So seasonal allergies, like you could then after a couple of years, you just might not get anything. So I don't know. It's weird. It might be a thing. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I don't know. I've got no data of which to confirm or deny that report. So,
yeah. Let's see here. So this one no good, Peter. Overall, you're not liking this.
Look, I've never heard of it before. We've never traded it, so I don't have any history off of which to base whether it'll be a decent trader or not. And like you said, it's at the top of our list, so I guess it's good news. Trading 3 million shares, up 21%. I mean, the pre-market action looks okay, but I'm just looking at the daily. It doesn't look like normally it moves all that much. So maybe today's its day, but I would be hedging my bet to suggest maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. I'm going to keep it off here. Let's take a look at CRCL. This stock, I was looking at the daily earlier this morning when I was having my coffee, and man, did you see the daily on this thing, Peter? It is wild. Yep. Unbelievable. 70.
About 3 weeks ago, I guess, when it opened. IPO'd at about $60. And yeah, look at it now. So
just wild. I thought about you very early this morning. Speaking of my coffee this morning, somebody came on Bloomberg Radio and they were saying how, yeah, that is risky. Some long-term investors just, he was explaining something. Long-term investors might look at that as a 3-mile island. And the host said, you need to explain what that means to a younger audience. And he had to explain it because it's something that, people just don't know. He explained, it's Pennsylvania, 3-mile nuclear, whatever. And I was like, these guys were hearing us. We just talked about this last week. So they were tuning on to our show and copying us. But yeah, man, massive move here. It's in play today, Peter. You can look at the intraday action, up 15%, 7.8 million shares traded. Not shortable, although I think we saw some shorts last week a couple of times here. Right, and a lot too. Not like 5,000. Like we saw quite significant amount. None today, man. How explosive is this thing? Risky, but clearly in play. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Wednesday. I mean, just look at the daily on Wednesday. It kept climbing. So look, this thing's in play. It's hard. You can't deny it. I mean, it's definitely in play. It's sustained, if not grown, the volume that it gets on a daily basis. So. I got to give Jared was right. He called this one out right at the beginning, and it's stayed active. So we've got to thank Jared for putting it on our radar initially, if I can say that. And Carlos, why not? I think this would be one that's worth watching.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna put it here on my secondary list just because. Again, it's in play. Should be a primary list if you do like to trade this stuff. But for me, this is so risky at times. You have to be just extremely careful. So on the secondary list, for the most part, it is in play. And man, what a IPO it is having in the last couple of weeks here. Next, OS. Oh, hold on a second. OSCR. So OSCR. This morning we are up 15%. Here's our daily on it. So again, big day on Friday, continuing today as well. This is Oscar Health. I don't like health companies. I think the intraday action is very bad. I also think the volume could be brutal. But this one is doing good. 2.2 million is up 15%. Had great volume on Friday, about 50 million. If you could see right down here, 50 million shares traded. So plenty of volume. Not I'm saying Friday like it's a Monday. It's not a Monday. Had great volume on Wednesday and today's Friday. So we'll see what it does today. Peter, what's your thoughts on it?
I'm not sure. Like you said, don't normally trade this sector. They don't often provide good opportunities. In this case, the Oscar Health is expected to benefit quite significantly if the lawmakers establish Part E of the self-funded Medicare plan. So they would be on the forefront of taking value of that, but that's yet to be approved. But I don't know. I mean, I guess this is dependent on news, right, or dependent on approval of this this bill that's been proposed. So buyer beware, I suppose. I mean, it could like take off. It's got good volume so far this morning, and it's certainly a big gap, 15% up from previous day close. Carlos, I can only put it as a maybe because again another unknown quantity.
Yeah, another one that can actually get going here. I'm gonna go on the fence of not adding this health ticker into my list, but I'm gonna go on that side of the fence. We'll see what happens. But yeah, if you like it, it could be a secondary on here. SRM, this thing was hot on all week last week. Came up in a lot of our scanners. This is SRM Entertainment. If you guys remember that, you can see here on the daily again. A couple of days just really moving here. Today gapping up 12.7. Again, pretty weird daily. The float on this one is 10 million, as I see here in Trading Terminal. I don't know. Again, low flow stock, don't trade well for my type of strategies. But this is still continues to move here. SRM Entertainment.
Yeah, well, you're not going to be able to call it that for long. It looks like they're in the process of changing their name to Tron Inc. Look, the SEC released information that they've posted articles to try and rename the company as they've merged a couple of different corporate assets, some private equity pool of money into this organization. There's I'm not look. It sounds complicated. Tron Dow, Justin Sun, and SRM Entertainment are in the process of creating this merger, and there looks like the SEC is on board to let them do it. So again, good news for the company. I'm not sure that it creates a trading opportunity, Carlos. I don't really know what to do with this thing because, frankly, despite the news of this merger and integration, I don't know what they do. They're based out of Nevada. Yeah. Maybe they're into gambling. I really have no idea. I mean, I don't know what they do.
Yeah. So. The next name sounds very interesting. Tron sounds very, very definitely more catchy. Next on the list is SMLR. So again, we're just going down through our gappers list from tradingterminal.com. You can get this list completely free. Head over there to tradingterminal.com. So SMLR. Don't ever recall seeing this ticker. Semler Scientific is the name of the company. They're up this morning 12.7. Again, no volume, only 235,000 shares traded. So not a whole lot of volume right now. And again, if you look at this daily, they get very, very light volume, which typically when you're doing about under 2 million for the most part on the entire day, could be very difficult to trade, right? The price action could look very funky. And this was last trading day. You can see here, not a whole lot going on. Out of nowhere, we got this ideal trading. Let me show you that here in the pre-market. Sorry, in the intraday action on Wednesday. So ideal trading, but for the most part, again, I just don't like it. So won't be on my list today, Peter. Any news on this?
Yeah, they look. This is another one of these companies that what they're doing has nothing to do with their actual business. So Semler Scientific, yes, they make scientific devices. However, they just hired a guy named Joe Burnett as director of Bitcoin strategy. So like so many companies before them, they've decided that they're going to try and accumulate Bitcoin. Their target is to own about 10,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year and 105,000 by the end of 2027. So again, what has it got to do with their scientific devices? Absolutely nothing. But I guess they've got some cash and they're looking to try and put it into Bitcoin. So it's fascinating to me how many companies from all sorts of different industries and segments have decided to start to chase Bitcoin. So I mean, it's good for Bitcoin, but you need people to continue doing it, right? Because again, it's all about supply and demand. So they need the demand.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, they sure do. Again, this ticker looks horrible for intraday trading, so we'll skip on it. All right, let's go through this list. What else we have here? Nothing but a lot of garbage so far yet. So nothing that looks great. And when I say garbage, so those are new things that I normally would not have on my primary list because what I'm looking for is not going to make sense with these tickers, right? So not the best stock selection for what I like. I'm going to skip on down a little bit here, and then we will. Okay, we got some other ones on here. We got Quantum. All right, so we'll look at some Quantum stocks, and then we'll give it to you guys. So let's look at some Quantums. We'll start with QUBT. This one here has been, again, very active. Is it QBT or QBS? I always forget which one. QBTS. Let me see. No, QBT has the one that has been moving around a little bit more. Man, there's too many letters in this thing.
You got all the letters in there.
I got all the letters of every single one of them. So let's go ahead.
QUBT or QBTS.
Yeah, make up your mind there. All right, so here it is. QUBT. Let's start with that one. This is the one that's been moving pretty aggressive. Like if you look at the daily, we had some pretty good intraday action. Right now, up 4%, 764,000 shares traded. We also had, Peter, what's the one that Jared was trading last week? Was it Q something, or there's a new one?
Yes, there was another Q1 that was out there, and I do not remember what it was offhand.
Yeah,
Jared, you're there.
Oh, there it is. QNTM.
QNTM.
Yeah, there it is. This is one that was high flying, man. This thing was. Look at this over the last couple of weeks, and I know on Wednesday he was watching this one. So Quantum Biopharma. Again, Quantum continues to be in play, Peter. Which one are you watching today?
Look, I normally go back to QUBT. It's the one that I generally prefer, although QBTS gets a little bit more volume. So yeah, those are the two main ones. But I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like a day for Quantum to me. I'm not sure why. I can't qualify that really. I just gut feel.
Yeah, 100%. IonQ is another one that gets a lot of volume too, but again, it's just been really I want to say flat. But again, you just never know. These things out of nowhere can just take off. So I would like to watch at least one of them, and I think QBT is the one I'm going to go with here. Again, I like their daily. They've been moving very well in a couple of days here in the last week or so. So I'll add them to the primary list, and then we'll see if anything can come out of this. So QBT just for now. And then I see Bitcoin. Go ahead, Peter.
You can't forget Rigetti Spaghetti, by the way.
You can't. I love saying the name, but man, I don't know if it's been the best one. Look, it looks very similar to IonQ.
It hasn't.
Right? It's just, it hasn't really been moving over the last week or so. It's just been very quiet. But yeah, we love our Rigetti Spaghetti ticker for sure. So the other bunch of stuff I see on the list, Peter, is Coin. Right, we were talking a little bit about it. I do see Coin here. I do see Mara making their list. So these guys are moving well today. Look at the daily on Coin yesterday. I keep saying yesterday, but this day just throws me off. Day off in the middle. Wednesday. Look at this Wednesday. Look at that pop, and then continuation today. Coin looks like it has its own party going on here. What's the latest and greatest?
I don't know that Coin does. I mean, Bitcoin prices have been going up. We were talking about this, Jared and I, on Wednesday, and how, Coin, we have to remember, this Coinbase oddly is less related to the actual price of the coin than other offerings, right? There's a lot of companies like we were just talking about in our little Semler scientific company that have invested, that now their corporate prospects are much more tied to the price of a Bitcoin. Coin is the exchange, right? So they just need people to be trading it. But anyways, but yeah, Coin is Coin. I noticed it was on our list earlier this morning and has been moving. Bitcoin prices, though, to look at that, have gone up over the last 24 hours, jumping up to about 106,000, which is only about $1,000 higher than they had been hanging out at for the last day or so. Again, this thing's got to get up to 110 to get people super excited and with the hope that it's going to go even higher, right? Our all-time high is about 112,000 that was hit back in when did it hit? Oh my god, wait a second. When did it do that? Yeah, wait in May, I guess, is when it hit the 112 for like a day.
Yeah,
And
don't remember the
it
exact
hasn't
time,
seen
but yeah.
Yeah, and hasn't seen those prices since. So we got to get back there, all right, for these things to really start to take off as investable offerings. That'll also help Coin, for example, if Bitcoin prices start to soar, because more people will decide to jump in and start buying and trading Coin. So maybe a heavy drop would help Coin as well, because then people might decide to get cash out. But one way or the other. Coin is it's all about the transactions. Will I be trading it though? I do actually watch it. I over the course of the day, I usually flip to it and say, oh, what is it doing? Normally there's nothing. Now I wanted to say Friday, no, Wednesday it had a great move. It actually, but it didn't, not at the open, but sometime midday it just decided to take off and sort of had a good rise through midday. So it's maybe worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, I like it. I think I'm gonna put on my main list here. You just gotta watch out for the spread, and again, it can move. So treat it as a risky stock. I remember it when it was moving like this before. It's not the first time we've seen Coin moving like this. At one point, this one was moving more than any other ones, right? And you could see how big the range was. This is like 300 to about 337 on a day, right? So it can move very aggressive when it is in play. And today they got this beautiful breakout here, and between this week actually. And let's see. Pre-market looks good too, looking really nice there. Let's see how well I can trade. So adding it to my main list here, Coin, and let's take a look. I think I'm gonna stop here, Peter. As far as the gap up goes, I know some other ones on there. I know Tesla's up almost about 1.8. I think they're trying to cross at 2%. So they'll be hitting the gap up list as well. They're looking good. What do you like this morning?
Well, I have a few things. Oddly, I have some earnings. I didn't expect to have earnings this morning, but I've got a couple I could mention. Kroger, KR, had earnings this morning. Mixed picture. They actually missed in the current quarter on their revenue forecast, but not by much, really. And then they beat on earnings. What's got them gapping higher is the fact that they raised their guidance. They actually said strong grocery buying gives them some bullish outlook, and they raised their guidance. We also had Dryden, Dryden Restaurants, I think it is. Darden Restaurants. Anyways, that beat their numbers, top and bottom line. DRI, not usually a great trader, not trading a lot of volume this morning. We've only got about 46,000 shares traded. The other one that I was keeping an eye on just to see what's happening in the sector is KMX, CarMax. We've watched some others in the sector in the past, right, with some of the big car resellers. KMX missed on revenue but beat on earnings. Been quiet on their forecast. I was hoping to see a little bit more about what they think is going to be happening, what their full year guidance looks like, but it looks like they've been they haven't yet released an updated forecast for the full year. So they do say that they believe that there's going to be increased used car prices over the course of the year and anticipate strong revenue, but they haven't quantified that, I guess, to say what does strong revenue mean? Is it just meeting their numbers or beating them? Anyways, CarMax, another one of those that unfortunately doesn't get a ton of trading volume. The last one for earnings is gapping down early on here, but Accenture, ACN. Accenture had a good quarter in beating the numbers. Now, services companies generally have been doing better. While they beat their numbers in quarter, they did say that they think that there's potentially some headwinds However, they have raised their full year guidance. So again, good news. For whatever reason, though, they're gapping down. They're down about 5% on relatively low volume. It is a NYSE stock, so this thing doesn't usually get moving until the market opens. But even then, this is an offering that trades less than 3 million shares a day. So not probably our active target for trading. But I thought I'd let you know those are all the earnings that I had.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Peter. All right, friends, let's take a look at what's gapping down. Only one this morning, QSG. So let's take a look what's happening here. QSG, there we go. So QSG, we are down 8.8 right now, 281,000 shares traded. Doesn't really look good. Daily looks like it's doing something here. Quanta Sing Group. So again, really light volume. Float on this is 45 million, so not a low float at all here. Lower than usual, but I don't know what to think about this one. I have not seen much of it. Let's take a look on the intraday, going back to last trading day. It did trade, again, the volume is so low. It traded under 5 million shares traded there on Wednesday. And again, I'm not sure about this one. I haven't seen much on it. We do have plenty of shares for sure, 3.9 million. This could be interesting maybe, Peter. I mean, the pre-market looks blah. Daily looks great. What do you think? You have this on your list?
No, because I don't know. I don't understand why it's moving. Never a lot of news on this. It doesn't look like there's a lot of analysts that follow it, so we don't get a lot of news. And it's one of those weird ones, Carlos. It's another one of these educational companies out of China, and I again don't understand why it's moving, so I'm not sure what to do with it.
Yeah. So yeah, not sure. Maybe a secondary. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. QSG. I do like the daily on it. I like the fact that we can short it, but pre-market's got to get a lot better. Like this needs to get a lot better. So we'll see what happens. All right, that covers our list, friends. Gap up and down. Again, most things are doing well. Again, slightly higher. If we look at Tesla, for example, like our Max 7, and Peter probably going to go through some of these as well. They're up 1.8, right? So they're not hitting our scanners, but they're right there, 2.8 million shares traded. So obviously, we'll be watching this one. They do have some news out of India. I saw that they're opening up a showroom in India, Peter, and they're going to be selling the vehicles made out of China. So that's the headline I came across Bloomberg just 2 seconds ago. So I don't know. Always fun to have Tesla. We'll have it here, Peter. Aside from Tesla, anything else? What do you like this morning? What's going to be on your list?
Well, let's talk Tesla since you've got it there. There seemed to be a lot of news. So like you mentioned, looks like they're trying to sell some vehicles, break into the India market. They're not going to build a facility. They're going to just import the cars from their existing facility out of China. So that looks like good news. On the bad news side, people are looking forward to what their delivery guidance is. And the estimate is that the 325,000 cars, 375,000 cars that they have forecast. Right now, analysts are thinking that they are actually going to be under that number and under deliver. So that's not good news. Also, we've been talking about this robo-taxi, Carlos, and say, what's going to happen? Now, remember, it was Austin where they were planning to launch this. And the Texas lawmakers currently are urging Tesla to delay the rollout of the robo-taxi because they say they've got some new regulations going into place on September 1st and are asking Tesla to delay until those regulations go in place. The target for this originally, or last I heard, was supposed to be June the 22nd, which would be this weekend. What is it today? The 20th. So it'll be Sunday. Yeah. So, however, Tesla's already said, they're going to be extra cautious on security or safety, and as such, there's already an expectation that date is going to shift. I mean, they're getting close now, so I don't know what's going on. There seem to be a lot of, as you would expect, right? A lot of moving parts here. Who knows whether Tesla's going to launch this thing or not. I'm surprised to see them gapping up 1.8%. They're the largest gapper of all of the Magnificent Seven stocks. so far this morning. So, despite the negative news, doesn't seem to be hurting them as the stock is moving higher. And look, it's $328. I mean, it's had a couple of good days. Wednesday was actually not a bad day for it. A little spiky. We were reviewing this actually with my friends at Peak Capital last night, and it's just a very interesting stock on Wednesday. Not easy to trade, but some interesting moves. So we'll see how it moves today, because it's looked very different to me. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week, each day it actually had very different sort of profile in terms of how it moved. So it's definitely on my list.
Yeah, definitely on my list as well.
The sector, I didn't mention semis, of course. We can't ignore our friends over in the semiconductor sector, AMD, NVIDIA. We were watching MU, in fact, on Wednesday. Some people were getting trades on there. And then SMCI, which has continued to be sort of interest, had some moves on Wednesday. I don't see anything special happening in the sector. Like you said, continues to be hot despite everything happening in the world. It is AI everywhere, Carlos. There is not a company out there that is not touting AI. Like, I had an ad this morning from like a local construction firm, and it said, "Do you want an instant quote? Use our AI quote maker and input the data of what you want to renovate your house with, and we'll get you a quote instantly." I'm like, this is like some local contractor. I don't know what AI engine he's using, but it's like everybody's got AI.
Peter, he's using the same thing he's been using for like the last 10 years. He just slapped the AI name on it.
That's the first thing I thought, Carlos, right? He's got some it's probably like, you send an email to the thing and there's some poor schmuck sitting in the back room that's pretending to be AI and just going to send back some random quote. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's fascinating to me. Everybody wants AI. So it's all Chat GPT. It could be. I mean, I nowadays I've noticed have you noticed the delay? Like, I used to be able to get a picture made and, I'd request a picture of anything and it would make you a picture. I admit the quality of the pictures I'm getting right now are better, right? It used to be a little cartoonish before. Now they look very live and real. That being said, it's 10 to 15 minutes before you get your picture back. But hey, I can get a picture on anything in 10 to 15 minutes. So I got not much to complain about, but it is, it's just interesting that it's taking longer. So
yeah, quality is definitely improving. They're trying to get the fingers right. At first, remember the fingers were like all mushed. They look like a mitten glove. Now they're trying to get it a little bit more precise. But yeah, anyway. We were looking. I was on the road and I was looking. I was next to a car carrier, and this new Tesla, man. I didn't see this one, but this one looks really nice in person. I like what they did with the back there. It was a carrier that had all the Teslas on there, man. These cars are looking much better. I like that they barely make any changes, but the new change they made here, especially on this car, looks really, really nice. So someone's talking about in chat that they went, you should go test one of the newer ones with full autopilot driving, and I'm sure that's impressive, right? So he found it to be good.
I think they've also done something different with their paint, because I've seen a couple of the new ones, and especially the red color, it's a good, the paint looks good. More auto manufacturers need to pay attention to that, I believe, because it's like, I'm not a Mazda guy. I wouldn't consider buying a Mazda, but the Mazda red, the red paint they put on the Mazda, it is like the best red out there on the market. It is gorgeous. Anyway, I used to have a thing for the Porsche 911 Turbo back in the day. Candy apple red had that deep red. Whatever they do to that paint to give it that deep texture. Anyways,
it's nice. It's nice.
Going to spend money on a car, you want good paint on it, right?
Do it right. Anyways. Do it right. All right, friends. So yeah, that's what's happening here. Let's take a look at what you guys like this morning. Peter, before we do that, any other tickers you like before we jump to the crowd?
I mean, no, not really. Just the stuff we mentioned. I'm definitely watching AMD and NVIDIA. I'm going to be watching Tesla. Those are my top three for this morning. We talked about a couple of the others that I think I'm going to keep an eye on here for maybe Quantum. I'll put one of the Quantum on my list. I'll keep an eye on Kroger. We did talk about that just because they had earnings. We'll see what happens. But other than that, we got to see what happens. it's, again, relatively quiet from a news front. I feel like it's going to be a quiet trading day, but it'll, like I keep saying, it just takes one tweet, right? One announcement for all of that to change.
Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, let's get to what you guys like this morning. I'm looking here in chat, see some comments. Steve says, my company fixes car paint, and we do more Tesla than any other brand. Really? That's interesting. So it looks good, but
that makes sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Because Tesla has that right combination of people buying them often, have affluence and they want their car to look good. And historically, I don't think their paint has been that good. So it is one that you'd want to fix, right? You either fix the paint or wrap the cars. A lot of Teslas seem to get wraps, right? Just to change them up, make them unique. So,
anyway. Yep. 100%. And another comment here, Mazda colors are unique, just like their spare parts. Man, I had a Mazda. I know what you're talking about. Holy smokes, these parts were expensive. And it was a used beat up thing. Actually, it wasn't even mine, it was my dad, but he, I was still young, so he let me drive it. But every time I had to go get a piece, it's like, what are you doing? Like, you hand making these in the shop here? Like, what's going on?
It's funny, I like how you get affected. I don't know a lot about Mazda cars these days because I never look into them. My son had a thing for Mazdas at one point and decided he wanted one, never got it. But when I was a kid, Mazda was known as the car that was an awesome car for the first year you owned it. Then you hit one winter and the thing would rust out. It would just completely, literally fall apart. And so, I don't want that. So, to me, that's how I think of a Mazda. Now, those days are long gone. The Mazdas seem to be just as durable and withstand our seasons here as well as any other vehicle. But whenever I've looked at the new car prices for equivalency, they are expensive. They do seem to be a little
on the expensive side. Did they have a 626? So somebody's that's ringing a bell. Mazda 626. I think that's what my dad had.
Oh yeah. The 323, the 626. Those are the old models. I know.
We're going back here.
But
yeah, 626.
Their old sports car. Yeah.
So crazy. I remember that 626. Yep. All right. All right, friends, what else? Let's get to some stocks here. Let's get some stuff on the board. Let's get some stuff on my list at the moment here. So we do have APLD. What do I think about that one? APLD. We had this in play last week. This morning we're diving down here. Well, over the last couple of days, we've been just kind of dripping here. So 1.2 million shares, 1 million shares traded. We're up 1.2 at the moment. Daily, it's moving here. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. We do have shares for sure on it. We'll put it in the secondary. There is some movement here. I do like the volume. It's been from red to green, right? So it was down this morning, now in the green side of things. Let's put it on the secondary and see what happens. Again, not too sure on it, so we'll come back and look at it in a second here. AMD, yes, Peter did mention this, and I do want to add AMD to the list. It has been trading very well, and I'm going to add that to my main list here. With AMD, think about NVIDIA, so you can look at NVIDIA as well. Which NVIDIA's daily, Peter, getting really nice here as we're looking to hopefully break out. This has been an area of a lot of resistance. This one, we're just shy of above that 145, but around that 145, we had struggle in the intraday, right? Right now, we're above it. And you can see here just this area of resistance. So this could be fun. NVIDIA also red to green just a few minutes ago here. I watched both of them today, NVIDIA and AMD. They're both been doing really good. You can't complain. Let's see what else in chat do we have. I have CRL. Yeah, CRCL circle. Yeah, it's at the bottom there. It's at the bottom at the secondary list.
The only without the availability of shorts, that's my preferred trade direction. So remember, you can only trade this long at this point, right? Because it is on short sale restrictions. So that limits it a little bit.
Yeah, that's not fun. We'll put it on there, and but you're right. If you're more of a short trader like Peter is, that can be the decision maker whether you put it on the list or not. KWE. This is Key West Microsystem, just starting to get some volume here in the last 5 minutes. 1.3 million shares traded. It is on hard to borrow. And what is the float? Just went right to the top of our gappers list a few minutes ago. Float on this one is under 1 million shares traded. So just got going here. I'll put it on a separate pile. We can come back to it. We'll see if this is going to amount to anything. Up 20% right now. What's up even higher at 1650. Looks like it was the high of the pre-market, down already $3. So just tells you the madness at the moment with this one. Be very, very careful. All right, I think this is pretty much it. Microsoft, let's take a look. Microsoft this morning sitting at all-time highs, similar to many stocks that have just been stuck, right? They've been stuck here on the daily. They moved up, found some area resistance, breaking out today. I mean, stocks are feeling positive, Peter. A lot of stuff seems to just want to be bullish today. We'll see if that's how we're gonna end it going into the weekend with all the stuff going on. But yeah, if you look at Meta, if you look at Nvidia, if you look at Microsoft, they're all pushing higher. Tesla, same thing here. Seems somewhat bullish start right now.
Microsoft seems to be desperate to just stay ahead of Nvidia for that top spot, right, as the highest value company, publicly traded company on the planet. So it's interesting. Microsoft is currently sitting at $3.569 trillion, and Nvidia's, remember, it had gone above them for like one day and then dropped back, but they're right behind them. They're only $20 billion behind them at 3.549 billion right now. So yeah, Microsoft needs to stay at the all-time highs to stay ahead of Nvidia. But it's we'll see what happens. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop here, guys. So my list right now: QBT, Coin, AMD, Nvidia. Secondary list: CRCL, QSG, and APLD. Again, that secondary list is really a secondary list. Like there's, some of those could be really bad if you get caught on the wrong side of things. Oh yeah, so be careful with that. All right, friends, let's get over to our website, bearabletraders.com, where we can show you what's happening for the next 2 weeks. You can always click right on the top banner. There's going to be a section called webinars. Click on that, and it will take you into our schedule. And today is, I'm all lost with the days. I keep thinking it's like,
I know.
It's messy. Me and my wife both woke up late this morning. We thought it was like Saturday. I mean, it's just mess with the whole thing, man. Mess with the whole flow. So here it is. It is Friday. There we go.
Yeah. So it is Friday, which means for Bearable Traders, we don't have anything scheduled at this point. We do have, I believe, if Mike, you're out there, you can confirm that this week we will be having that PCT bootcamp pre-meeting for anybody that signed up for the next bootcamp. We have a lot of people that have already signed up for the September camp. And if you have, then you've got an opportunity to sort of start to get yourself ready for what is coming in the camp. So Mike is confirming, yes, that is absolutely on today at 11 a.m. So if you're part of the next boot camp, this would be a great session to attend. Helps, again, get you oriented and get you ready. You would have the link. It's the meeting room at P Capital. You just need to go to the dashboard. It will be in there, and you should have an email already that explains what you need to do. But that's at 11. If you're at Bearable Traders or considering signing up, we have a number of membership options for you. And if you do it today, well, then you'd be in position to go to the orientation class that Carlos has on Monday evening. You could also attend maybe some of the Monday webinars. We have some technology webinars that happen during the day. I'll tell you about those on Monday a little bit more, but for now, just go to bearabletraders.com, scroll down to the bottom of that initial landing page, and you will see the different options that you can get from the intro offer right through to the elite annual. Carlos, as far as I know, we're still doing the intro offer at $19, 1 week access. Gives you access to those onboarding classes I was talking about, and can give you everything that you need to see if this is the community for you, because there's lots of different options out there, but this is really a great community to help you grow and learn. So you might want to take advantage of that. If you're on YouTube, or click the thumbs up, by the way, we appreciate that. But also, you should have a link that will give you that discounted price for the intro offer. So take advantage of it. Click on it, select it, and it will be yours. All right. Okay. Samir, you're saying you're currently a diamond member. Can I upgrade my membership to get PCT? You can always do that. Absolutely. You can always upgrade if you want to get the PCT access. Then I don't know that we have any deals going on right now. Mike would know a little bit better about that, but you can always take advantage and jump into the PCT. The relative costs of doing so, I don't want to get it wrong. So just like Andrew is saying, right? Email team@bearbletraders.com. They're always there to answer your questions. So no matter what questions you have, that's the best place to go to get them answered. Team@bearbletraders.com. They can help you out for sure. All right. All right. Okay, Carlos, let's set some levels. What are we looking at? Oh, we got some time. We're not doing that bad. Oh, yeah, look, the funded account. That's worth mentioning, too. We've been doing this for a while now, guys, and we love the fact that we have a number of people that have taken advantage. Andrew has issued, I don't know how many. I've seen several checks issued, and I know that there's a lot more in the background of people that have successfully completed their funded account challenge, which is essentially, it's a simulated account, but Andrew is going to invest in your education. If you're able to make money over the course of using that account, he will pay you an equivalent of the money that you make within that account. There's a couple of rules, but it's really just to make sure nobody games the system, or you just, you trade one big trade and then sit on your laurels for the rest of the time. It's intended to create consistently profitable trading habits. And if you can do that, then you can not only get your money back for this account, but make money off of it. So check it out. It's a great opportunity. Just go to bearbletraders.com and you can get the more details on that. But it's a great opportunity. So, and if you have questions on that as well, team@bearbletraders.com, and we can help you get the answers you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Peter. All right, friends, let's jump right into this. My list this morning, QUBT, Coin, AMD, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Right, so we'll look at those and we'll do some levels for it. So QUBT, let's start there. This one is, I like the numbers. Oh, wow. I really like the numbers, Peter. Have you seen the how much it has moved in the last couple of minutes? The first one we looked at this morning. And look at this. We're up almost 7% now, 1.2 million. It just keeps climbing. So again, QUBT can trade very well. Really like this one here. Yeah, we pumped it up. There you go. So here it is. Let's take a look at high of the pre-market. It's just being created right now. It's 2039. So we'll put a level here for now. Let's see if it actually can get going. I do like that level there either way, because if you look at the daily, you can see here there are a few days opening and closing right around that area. Also, we're almost close to that as well. So I do like that level there. Even if it goes higher, I think it's a good spot. Above that, highs and lows for the last two trading days, Wednesday and Tuesday here, and then towards the bottom, previous day close. So you got some highs and lows as well. So I don't think we need to add anything else at the moment. I think we're pretty set. I think last time we went up here, we're actually getting over. If you guys remember, we had this big move up, came back down, kind of consolidated here a little bit. This area acted as resistance, and that's what we're seeing now. Then the bigger push was over to 27.11. So I think that's all-time highs, right? At least when it became alive, right? It was doing nothing here. I think that's your all-time highs, 27.11. We're still far from that, but again, in that area where we actually had that breakout back in at the end of the year into January there. So QBT looking good this morning. Let's take a look at Coin is next on our list. Also big day on Wednesday. Let's see if that can continue today. They're already up 3% here. 2.6 million shares trade on some positive news. And again, they're doing well. 290.63 is the low of the pre-market. Below that, you do have the highs and lows of the last two trading day all the way down here. But we do need some levels in between here, like a 277.06. We're going to put one there, and then let me go to the left here. We got plenty of levels. We've been around these price ranges where we're at now plenty of times. November into December, you can see all the back and forth here. Some very clean, clear levels. Look at that 309. I mean, look at that 309.37. I mean, I'm not making this up. It's just, it is what it is. Look at that. You see that? That is your high of your pre-market right now. I'm just not making this up, Peter. This is what it is. There's a reason for this. There it is. Look at all the resistance. I'm just right on there. So this is why we marked those levels, right? And if we go back up here, we're going to see another spot as well, 321.68, and then all the way up here at 333.53, 332.53. There we go. And then towards the bottom, you can see this area that was slamming into all this stuff here. It's going to be that the highs and lows for the last two trading days are all the way down here taking care of you. So yeah, there it is. Coin looking pretty good. Very nice volume, man. It is heavily in play. Hopefully it allows us to trade it, because it can be a little bit, whippy. It can be a little bit risky. So let's see what it does for us. 128.58 is the high on AMD. AMD, the daily might not be showing how Gray's been trading, because even on some of these intraday candles, there's some great activity, right? Clearly, this day was great, obviously, but there's been some really good trading on AMD. High of the pre-market 128.58 towards the bottom. You got the previous day close and highs and lows from the last two trading days. If we go below that, just in case, the big level is clearly here at 120, but there's some minor levels around 122.52 on AMD. So we'll see what it does here this morning. Nvidia is one that's been looking really nice. I'm going to remove some of the levels so we can get a clear picture here. But look at this daily. Again, 145 was an issue. We're above that now. And now it looks like 145.65 maybe is where we're seeing some struggle. So let's see. So we're not out of the woods yet on that 145. We're just hanging out in the backyard. Can this thing break out towards the bottom? We're stuck within plenty of highs and lows for the last two trading days. I don't think you really need to add anything else. So there's Nvidia. Your all-time highs is still up around 155. I think we hit. Was right here. Yeah, 153-ish, somewhere in that area. So you still got plenty of room to go. And if you look at some of the levels above that, 148.91 is a good one as well. So again, plenty of stuff on Nvidia, looking really nice this morning. I love the pre-market action. If you take a look at it today, it was in the red and slightly in the green. So again, so some movement this morning. Last but not least is going to be our good buddy Tesla, which again continues to trade very well. And it seems like to be getting their act together, Peter. Like it's just kind of like back to some regular trading. Elon is not on the hot seat anymore. I guess he's kind of got the pass. Is he good?
Well, I don't know. He's been very silent, hasn't he, over the last little while, especially with this robo-taxi coming out. It's a little bit of a surprising silence. I don't know what the cause of that is, but we'll see. Maybe this weekend, again, with this thing supposed to launch, this robo-taxi is supposed to launch on Sunday, maybe we'll start to see a few more announcements come out from him. But I don't know.
So you did mention... You did mention lawmakers wanted them to hold until September. Did they say why? Is the policy good or bad for them? Is it restrictive or is it like, what's the deal?
That's a good question. What I was reading didn't exactly expand upon that as to what the change of policy. I assume it would be beneficial, but I don't know. I've got to believe that. He usually comments when lawmakers put their fingers right in his business.
Oh, yeah?
That really annoys him. So whether again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying that it annoys him. So I'm surprised that he hasn't answered them within social media. That's often how he chooses to pick on them. So we'll see. People in the chat room are saying that apparently he's got some issues at SpaceX. Another rocket just exploded.
They had that issue with it blew up, but you added up with
isn't
the
that
ones
normal?
Yeah, exactly. That's I expect that to happen in a safe, controlled environment.
Well, they blow up things all the time. It's part of their experimentation process. But anyways,
you gotta look at the good and the bad. You gotta look at how many successful ones they had, not just the one that made all the noise. So, but yeah, Tesla here is it's looking good. Looking good. I like it a lot. So there's your levels. High of the pre-market 328 towards the bottom. We're going to mark down 324.60. That looks great there. Let me show you the data so it could be a little bit cleaner. Area of resistance right on here. So we are just pushing higher. This is around, we'll call it 330 or so. Let's see if we can break out of that. The next level towards the top will be 334.68. And then above that, some very clean levels here like this one, 344.82. So we'll see if we can get some action. Actually, you know what? There's another level here too. Like if you look at this area right on here, another level right in there. This is going to be around a 340.71. So 340.71. We'll slam one there as well. Friends, if you slam that thumbs up over on YouTube, really appreciate it. Again, it helps to show out a ton. So if you could just hit that, we appreciate it very much. We're sitting at what we have 155 for a Friday after a holiday day, Peter. It's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad. It's messy. This week is messy, so we'll take it. We're very, very happy with that.
It's unexpected. Like it's not a normal profile, which means again, the Wall Street volumes, how they're approaching the market is going to be different. I think it's going to be fairly quiet. I mean, the open will be the open. We're going to get some move at the open. Again, it might just die off a little faster. Afternoon volumes could be a little quiet. That's what I'm expecting. That being said, this week has actually been a great week for trading. We've seen better afternoon volume and price action movement than we've seen in months. The open has not been bad. I'm not saying it's been easy, but it's been some great trading. So yeah, I'm hoping that continues today. But again, we are in a weird day, right? With the day off on the holiday yesterday, so far it doesn't look like the markets are trying to catch up any lost ground, which sometimes you do when you get that day off. And again, one day and then we're off again. So we'll see, Carlos. Look, you know what? Whatever happens, right? We approach the market with calm and focus, and guys, we can guys and gals, traders, we can take advantage of the situation. So there's my 5-minute alarm. That means I got some business to take care of here, guys. Let me tell you what our moderators are watching, because they're keeping their eye on the market. Let's see if there's anything new on there. Nathan, well, nothing new. He's watching Magnificent 7 and AMD as always. Jared's going to be watching CRCL. No surprise there. Coin and OSCR. We did talk about OSCR, even though I didn't put it on my list. He's also watching ASTS and Oklo, two offerings that we did not talk about. Lenny's going to be watching Google, AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, CRCL, and Coin. Thor, of course, always has his eyes on the futures and the market indices overall. From a stock perspective, he's going to be watching AMD, Apple, and PLTR. Brendan is going to be watching Circle, AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA, Coin, and one of the quantum stocks, QUBT. I've got the usual, I guess, Tesla, NVIDIA, and AMD. I'm also going to be watching PLTR, Kroger, and QUBT. I've only got one potential IPO to let you know about. I'll let everybody in the room know if and when that opens. Eamon's over trading with PCT, and he says he's going to be watching PLTR and OKLO. Mike has got CRCL and NVIDIA on his list, and Andrew got his list in with CRCL, NVIDIA, and Tesla at the top of the pile. Phil, last but not least, is going to be watching NVIDIA, CRCL, Tesla, Meta, and AMD. So there you go, everybody. That gives you an idea of what you might want to watch. I see Andrew's ready to go. He's looking like he's got a decent morning, little overcast there in Vancouver, but Andrew's looking sharp as always. Oh, look at that! Now his face is lit. What a brilliant man! All right, enjoy the morning, everybody. Trade well, and we'll see you on YouTube in just 1 second.
Look at that! What a handsome lad!
What a handsome lad!
What a handsome lad! Looking good, looking good.
Let's pump up the ego this morning. Why not? Right?
Right?
Everybody deserves a little bit of a boost and a lift. Come on.
That's right. That's right.
Especially when it's true. That's what my wife says. I get jealous sometimes. My wife's like, he's such a handsome lad.
Love it, love it. All right, friends, let's set up here. Let me disconnect from chat.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta switch over my platform here.
Switching everything over. Not very good. Here we are.
Yep. All right.
All right, Spy's looking good. Spy's trying to go into the green even further here, which is nice.
There's always two things that I have to do here as we get ready for the open. I have to change my platform layout so I see all the charts I need, because I focus on that versus the news that I focus on when we're talking, for the pre-market. But I also have to shut down. I always end up with like 50 browsers open. And
because you're looking up stuff.
I'm looking up stuff, and I've got all these different news feeds going. And I realize, I've learned that you got to shut some of those down, or they can slow your device and your platform. Yeah. So you don't need all those browsers.
What's going on with the SPY? Look at this. 2 minutes before the market open or so, we're pushing higher. Is this the calm before the storm? Are we going to get body slammed? So I'm ready for anything. Ready for anything. Today's triple witching. Did not know that.
We didn't talk about PLTR. That's another one that might be worth watching today.
How did we not?
One of your favorites, Carlos.
Buddy. Yes,
it's getting a little bit of a move here.
I'm gonna add that.
PLTR. I'll keep an eye on it for you in case it moves.
Yeah.
But team trading here, right? We can figure it out together. Oh,
yeah.
I better get my headphones so I can listen to Andrew while we're talking.
I feel like this market open is coming fast. I don't feel fully ready on my setup here. Hold on. It came fast, right? Is it just me? feel like this.
I think it came in the normal time. Must be just you.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be just me. All right. So we got the 1, we got the 5, and we got POTR. Oh, UBT, Tesla, Coin, AMD, Nvidia, and I already got Tesla. Okay. And CRCL up 18%. QSG, APLD, and POTR.
I feel like. Anyways, let's see. Open in 2 seconds. Here we go. Opening bell.
All right, here it is, friends. Let's see what's going to take place.
Oh, no! Anyways, what I was about to say before the bell was that Tesla's move higher feels a little overdone, and I was thinking that it might be a short at the open. It did spike down, but I don't want to go chasing this because it has such an ability to move higher, right?
Yes, so much that slammed down here too with the SPY. So we got to see.
I was hoping it would actually get a little pop up first and then start to move lower, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Whoa, Nvidia spiking higher. Top side volume. Oh, there goes Tesla.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, look at that move. That is nice.
Tesla 330.
Wow. It is doing its thing. Everything going nicely into the green. I mean, my Nvidia, AMD, QBT. I still am. Circle selling off. OTR. Nvidia looks interesting. 1 minute ORB breakdown there. That could have been a type of trade, but I didn't see it early enough for you to take that.
Oh man, look at that! Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it early. I just moved to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still short bias on Tesla, but it is not looking short. So.
Yeah, I don't know about Tesla, man. They got, they don't have a lot of negative news. That's a good thing.
Well,
they got the stuff opening in India.
Expected to be down.
Yeah.
The uncertainty on the robotaxi, like it feels like there's an opportunity, but it's.
I like Nvidia short, guys. I really do. I don't trade 3 minutes for the market open, but I really like that setup there for 1 minute RB breakdown. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go short. This is not my typical trade. I'm 30 minutes early, but I really like this short here. Man, this is unprecedented. I can't remember what's the last time I traded 3 minutes into 3 minutes for the market open. So we'll see, but I really like it here. Let's see if we could break down that 145.10. 145 would be awesome if we can get that. And I'm going to be out very quick, guys. I'm going to be out above the previous day close. I'm out of this trade. I'm not hanging out because it could squeeze you pretty bad.
Carlos.
It needs to happen now. Come on. Let's see here. It's taking too long. I don't like it. I'm going to take a partial here. Oh, wow. It's like... Oh, I'm glad I waited. Okay. I hit the wrong button. I'm glad I did. Partial here. I'm partial. Oh, here we go. Okay. Very nice.
Carlos.
Yeah, this is Friday, man. So weird Friday. Sometimes provides weird trading. Let's see here. 145. I don't think it's gonna stay here long. If it can't flush right away, I'm gonna get out, guys.
Yeah, you don't want to risk too much because it's
that fill was horrible.
Really fast.
That fill was not great.
There's bid side orders, Carlos. It still looks weak.
Yeah, it just might not be able to survive. Might not be able to survive the pullback. So. But all right, good. Not bad. Are you worried about the 200 SMA for Nvidia? Sure. No, I'm not. I'm not really. I'm. If you look at the intraday action on the 1 minute, I'm not worried too much about that. Matter of fact, we broke down below the 200 SMA. If that's the one you're looking at here, yeah, I'm not worried too much about it when it comes to this really fast-paced trading, right? So there it is. I'm glad I was out of it. We got a couple of partials, and it can go either way here. Because if you look at the way this 5-minute candle is forming, it can really go either way. But again, I didn't want to hold through a pullback that can put me in the red. So AMD is trying to put in a nice move here.
Yeah, it's moving a little higher.
A 100%, Williams. Yeah, put your bias away. Look at the chart. Yeah, yep, 100%. Why is that right? Why is it loading like that? You see the way my charts are just like
What's that?
test Nvidia. You see the way it's just kind of the next candle opened up all the way up here. Did it actually gap up like that? Do you have the same thing on Nvidia? I got this
No,
weird gap where it's not
no, I
connecting.
don't.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
All right, let
you've
me.
got some data issues there, Carlos, because that's
Yeah,
not what I'm seeing.
gonna close and reopen again. Just 1 second, guys. Here. Let me see if it fixed. Much better. Okay, yeah, that was very weird. I should close and open my charts every time I start trading because I do so much back and forth in the pre-market. It's nice to kind of refresh, I think. Ah, no wonder. Okay, so if you guys remember when I hit this not this one, it looked weird, and it probably was because I was missing some of the candles there.
Yeah,
What was?
yeah. See, that's what I'm seeing now,
Yeah,
Carlos. There,
yeah.
chart lines.
I was definitely missing some data there. Andrew's long Nvidia, which I think is a good call here
Yeah.
above the VWAP.
He was long on Tesla. As much as I was like waiting to see weakness in Tesla to take a short, when he goes long, I'm like, I don't know that I want to bet against him. So,
Yep. You got a nice pullback. If it's gonna be a 5-minute RB, this is the entry on Tesla. But it's got to stay above the VWAP. I can't be doing that. Let's see, but it's setting up a nice pullback if strength comes back into the market. Coin, beautiful engulfing crack. That is nice. That is really short, but that was a tough one to hold, so be careful. Nvidia is so long, man.
CRCL not shortable, but
Yep.
just too bad. Is it still not shortable? It wasn't earlier.
No, nothing from me on it.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
just straight down here after
Yep,
the
yep.
open.
TR dropping down. Looks a little messy though. I don't like the way the chart is forming there. KWE. Why do I have this here? I have it on my watch list. I don't know why. EPLD, QSG. Again, these secondary stocks are brutal. Besides CRCL, which we can trade because we don't have shorts, the other ones I have on my secondary list are not worth watching. Besides PLTR, maybe. UBT had a great run in the pre-market and giving, a lot of it back right now. Big drops into the market open. You short a CRCL with puts. Yes, that's another way of doing it. If you want to short something, you can do options. But their recent IPO stuff has a lot of options and options. Can you say that?
Options and options?
And
A lot of
options.
options?
Yeah, like they do.
Look at that. I should have stuck to my guts again.
What
Look
happened?
at Tesla. No, Tesla's just made it all the way back down to the
Mm.
low of what it said pre-market there, and I didn't go chasing it. But
Yeah, Tesla's got an engulfing on the 5 now, trying to do an engulfing. It's
Apple is strong. Look at that. Wow. All green candles so far this morning.
out of the Max 7s, it's the one that's struggling the most on the daily. Well, maybe Tesla than this one. But here they're doing some stuff. It's like monthly options. So today is 0D DTE. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Nvidia. Is Andrew still long Nvidia? Yeah, I agree with that, man. I think
Yeah.
it's on the 5 minute. I think it wants to go. Let's see if it can hold here, but it's like it wants to get back up there, but this area is just right there. Every time it buys back up, it does that thing. It's hard to explain. But every time it sells down, it shoots right back up with a lot of aggression. So let's see. Let's see. Let's see if it can hold above the VWAP here. 146.16, 146.18. I have a level there. I made money on this. I don't know if I want to touch it again and risk what I made on a so move. Like I'm not 100% convinced on it. Tesla short now. Tesla. Peter, you like Tesla short?
Yeah. Well, I did. I mean, I wouldn't go chasing it here just because I know how it can move, and it hit
Yep.
that. It hit the low that it set right at the open. So it's and it was a great prospect when I was looking at it for a short.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
like I said, not something to chase. I mean, I don't know. Could
PLTR.
very well go significantly lower. This could just be the start, but
Nvidia is playing hard to get, man. Playing hard to get.
hmm. Kroger made a little move higher at the open. KR, one of the ones I was looking at. You know, usual low volume.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing huge going on there. The quantum stocks just look messy to me.
Yeah.
QBTS, QBT.
They had a great pre-market and then it just bombed. Pre-market was looking awesome. And then it's what happens. Like sometimes you get this beautiful pre-market activity. Look at that. And then the market opens just looks terrible. All right, Nvidia's trying to hold VWAP. AMD again. Why are we not trading AMD? Why are we not watching AMD every day? Every day on the main list, long for the 5 minute ORB
Well,
seems to be the thing. Look at it go
there's
again.
a
It's
reason
just,
why it used to be my favorite.
yeah, it's really doing it again. Like me, that is clean. Not so clean and obvious on the 1 minute, but the 5 minute looks awesome. Just beautiful, beautiful here. Oh man, oh man. Coin. Not sure what's going on there. Circle completely losing it again, making a new low. QSG. Let me take this off here. This is garbage. Because I keep clicking on the stuff that's on my list just to go through it, but I don't want to see that. APLD, same thing. The reason why we didn't like these, just get it off my list. PLTR continues to lose it here. PLTR. Man, nice breakdown below the previous day close on PLTR. Messy start on the 5 minute. You can see how choppy it is. A lot of indecision candles here, and then just look at the drop in the last couple of minutes. That looks good. Look at CR. Yeah, I pulled it up earlier on my other chart here. CRWV. I see Andrew was looking at this one as well. I'm not sure if he went in. Yeah, CoreWeave. Yep.
No, is it CoreWeave or is it the other one?
No, CoreWeave. CRWV.
Okay. What's the other one that was like
CrowdStrike. or CRCL?
No.
Which
It
am I
had a
thinking
W in
here?
it. Had a C and a W in it. That's. Anyways, whatever it was, doesn't matter. You guys remember out there, YouTube, CRWV, and then there was another one that was.
CRWD, CrowdStrike. Yeah.
No, that's not the one I was thinking of, though.
No?
It's maybe it's like that other thing that I was like, my brain was like.
What was that thing?
There's
The
a star in
star
it.
with SBET. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
You had a SBET moment right now. CoreWeave, CRWV.
Maybe it's CRWV.
I think I'm gonna go long Nvidia, man.
CRWV. I don't know.
I like Nvidia for a long here, guys. I just think it's gonna go. Let's see if it could break out. It's now or never. Let's see. Break out above the VWAP. Want to get to at least pre-market high. I love this dip here. The dip below the VWAP like this and the way back up and the strength. I mean, if you don't do it now, you're never doing it. Well, that's not true, but it's kind of the way I feel on this trade. So let's see. Let's see if we can actually break that 146.
Oh, Tesla. You pain me, Tesla.
Tesla's costing you pain.
I had it. I had the call, but I didn't follow my gut. I let Andrew's inverse trade make me nervous. Shame on me.
Yes.
What the heck?
Wow.
I was looking at the comments on our chat here.
Yeah.
And anyways, they're all good, but then I look at like the ads that it gives me just below that.
Which comments? Where are you talking about? Oh,
I
YouTube?
got an ad right below on YouTube, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what I do that it's now giving me a dating site for men over 50. Interestingly, the girl pictured here on this dating site for men over 50 is half of 50. So
they're see when they think you're Jeff Bezos, man. They think this guy's making money. He's a trader.
I'm not sure what they think. It's I guess there's money in that. So what's wrong with that? You know what? I mean, first off, my wife would not appreciate me dating somebody. I gotta believe.
I'm sure that. Yeah, let's start with the priorities here, Peter. 100%.
But anyway, I still always, I personally can't imagine ever coming home and introducing my daughters to somebody who's their age or younger. It's just somehow
that wouldn't seem right. Yeah.
Hey, here's someone you knew in school who's 2 years younger than you. Dating.
It's a show like that on Apple TV.
Well, so there's a bunch of shows like that.
Let's see here. With Steve Carell, so it's just pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Apple is just. I'm sorry, not Apple. I'm looking at Nvidia. Nvidia is just like taking its sweet time. Come on, it's like it's about to do it, and it's like stutters. Like, just do it, man. Just do
it. just do it already, would you?
Just get above that 146.18. It's struggling so bad. So bad. I might just get out and protect my profits here. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get out and protect my profits. That was the time to do it, and he didn't do it. Like, come on. So I'm out of it.
Did you get out completely out?
Yeah, completely out, man. I made money on it already in my first trade, and I don't want to come back and give this back, man. Like, this was the opportunity to actually do it, and now you're gonna struggle like this. It's not nice. Not nice. Okay. So normally I would hold to my stop, but I just have a feeling it's not gonna do what I wanted. What I wanted to happen didn't take place. At least at the time for I was looking for it. Might still go. Might still be beautiful trade here. Not gonna be banging my head later, but for the reason I got in, didn't take place. All right, let's look at something else. AMD. Peter, we were talking last week about how can we join AMD, these trends, right? These not AMD, these trends that happen, right? Here's AMD now
Right.
doing a nice trend. It's a pullback here. Right, we don't have no data in front of us. Do you like this for long? That's hard for me. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not a big trend trader, right? So do I like
Yeah.
AMD for a long? AMD has always shown a history because I've been watching it for years, and I know AMD can absolutely give great reversals. So right now, it looks like it's pretty steady as she goes. It had a good move at the open. I don't see any signs of reversal, but I
Mm-hmm.
also don't see any strength for it to go higher. So it's bottom line, I don't know what it's going to do, which is why I stay out of a trade at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
AMD typically is not the type of stock that will just run all day. So,
Right. Right.
or even run for hours at a time. I mean, I'm not saying it hasn't. Of course it has. Every stock has at some point if it's a high flyer, but AMD has not done it in quite a long time. So, wow. Tesla. Carlos, I'm so
Let me. I
frustrated.
haven't looked at it in a while because I was so fixated on Nvidia, which looks like it wants to go.
Look,
Oh no, not really.
with
Not
with
yet.
everybody here as my witness, I mentioned Tesla when it was right near the highs, and I said I was short biased on it. And look, you guys were here. You heard me say it. What
Yeah.
did I do, or what did I not do? Huh?
Womp womp womp.
Wow. Exactly. Wow. Wow. Harsh but
Yeah.
true.
I was trying to think of the right sound effects to add. That's the only thing that came to mind. The other thing was the
Yeah, I get
Mario
it.
one, but I don't know how to do the Mario sound effect when he dies and don't. I don't know how to do that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But that's what came to mind.
Yeah. So here's the yeah. I didn't do it, man. And now it's killing me. What happens, right? Then you get yourself all frustrated. Because what's here's the other thing that I keep around so that I can remind myself.
That's the other one. Yes. There
Take
it is.
the damn trade. Take the trade.
Not usually what traders struggle with, but
Nope.
it's the other side taking too many trades. That was my issue.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but now after
I
you
get
stop
that.
doing that, you come now to the take the damn trade part, right? 'Cause you start being more cautious. So I think after a
Yeah.
while, that's an issue just for everybody, right? What is WWPD? What is that? I don't know that one. WWPD.
What would Peter do? Is that what you're doing? As
Oh,
opposed to what would Tyler Durden do? Yeah, there you go.
yes.
It's good. All right, good Fight Club reference, Michael. Bonus points for that. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe that's what I
Nvidia.
need. That's
Yeah.
what I need. I need an alter ego. I need a Tyler Durden. I need like I may just set my alter ego to trade for me.
Mm-hmm.
Be reckless, and
All
of
right,
course I
well,
might wake up and realize my account is gone. But
yeah. Trey FTW. Trey FTW. What
the
does
wig on.
FTW stand for? Does that mean anything? I feel like that's like an ETF or something. FTW. Rocket Lab. Yes, good move above the VWAP here. Lighter volume, for the most part. But Rocket Lab, when it's in play, man, it trades well. We traded plenty of times in the past. I don't know that it's heavily in play today, but it's moving well this morning. I don't see a trade for me here though. Trade. Oh, for the win, of course, for the win. Yes. I was thinking something like trade something else, but yeah, for the win makes perfect sense. First rule of Trade Club. POTR good for short, but entry can be bad. POTR. Let's take a look. Oh man, look at that. Look at that move on our good buddy Rocket Labs. Just keeps going here. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to POTR. Yeah, it could be tricky now because you're at the previous day close. At least for me, it could be tough. And POTR can be so bad at sometimes, man. It really can. Like, it can be a very difficult stock to trade. Matter of fact, a couple of times the first hour or so, maybe first 45 minutes, I've been stopped out like twice, and then it does a great move that we've been able to join. But it's a tough trader. It's not an easy stock when it starts going sideways like this. So make sure you got a good strategy that is solid. That
Still
don't wing
doubting
it.
AMD. I don't blame you
Who's
for
doubting
doubting
AMD?
AMD.
Who is?
Marcel says he's still doubting AMD.
Doubting in what sense? Like he wants to go short? Well, myself.
I don't know. It's just I assumed that he means he's doubting that it can go higher. I don't blame him. I said it's my feeling as well, but
I had a friend called Marcelo, man.
Nvidia
Oh man, this
ugly.
dude. It was always everything to the wall. On everything we did, it was extra.
It's just
Got me in
he
so
was
much
all
trouble.
in, eh?
Oh man, all in on everything we did. Ah, good times. We're still friends, but we're older now, and we kind of ease off the
Yeah.
pedal here. But my goodness, it's down in Florida now.
Of course he is. Of course.
He has to cool off. Yeah, like dude, you gotta cool. He went down to cool off. He's gotta. Though the weather's hotter there, but he has to get away from this area.
Wow.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
it's I'm not sure that environment would help because you always hear about. Is he now the Florida man that you hear about?
No.
He's
He's
calmed
actually
down.
he's calm. Yeah, he's actually calmed down. He's actually calmed down.
Okay.
My good buddy has
Okay.
calmed down. It was bad enough when mom called me. Hey, where are you? Oh no, I'm here hanging out with this person. Like she's like, oh boy, that was her response. You already knew. You already knew.
Oh
Like,
man.
come home
Oh,
early. Oh man. Coin at the VWAP. I just don't think it has the juice and volume to get pushed above here. So I'm just gonna might not join it, but doing a nice move at the VWAP right now. Andrew is there. It is. See, we talked about it. Andrew actually did it. He joined AMD and looking for the break of the high of the day. But again, we don't have a strat. I should have taken. My Tesla 25 shares actually ended up working out. Remember,
yeah,
we
I
took
know.
25 shares.
Actually, I was
Yeah,
thinking about you
did you?
later in
Okay,
the day.
we were off the show
Yeah,
already, but it actually ended up working out.
it
I
did.
should have
You had to be
taken
patient because
25.
it went
Yeah,
sideways for
it
a
took a
long
long
time.
time. Yeah, it took a long time. Yep. And then here's AMD. Let's see if AMD can break out and continue this great run today. QBT looking to head lower. Nvidia. Nvidia, see it bombed, man. Such great potential to get going. This one really faked me out. I mean, I didn't lose any money on it, but the way the signs were showing here, this was a long, and it's just didn't happen.
Donius, you took the opposite trade on Andrew and AMD. I mean, it sort of has double topped here, so again, it's not. There's no volume that supports the move for me, but
It's
the
at a
pattern
higher,
is there.
yeah, it's not a higher high, but we'll see. We'll see what AMD does here. Coin struggling at the VWAP. Tesla continue to head lower. Found support at 324. That is our pre-market low. Yeah, so little support 324. A couple of times it's tested at here, and here. Obviously dipped lower on the momentum. Did bounce back, but oh man, it's gonna go lower, I think. Let's see if it tests the low of the day now. It's 323.27, which is looking pretty intense. Is Tesla showing a downtrend? I mean, it depends what time frame you're looking at, right? On the intraday time frame, yes, we are. I mean, you look at the 5, you look at many of these things. We're downtrending, but on the bigger time frames, it's pretty flat. If anything, up. It's pretty flat the last couple of days. And then if you look at the bigger picture year to date, where it's are we at? We're still down, but if you look at from March to April, you're uptrend. So it all depends on where your time frame is that you're looking at, what charts. Intraday right now, though, this is clearly a downtrend, no question. This is, and that's what we're focused on, right? So right now we're downtrend. You're kind of finding some support here, but definitely a downtrend right now. I don't see that trend changing yet. We could be in for a nice double bottom, though. Tesla loves to reverse. We could be in for a really nice double bottom back to the VWAP. So be on the lookout for that. Happens a little bit later. Those reversals tend to do that. But yeah. Wow. Rohit, yeah, see that POTR it lost the low of the day.
It
I'm gonna
did.
go to 138.41 is my next level on POTR. So Bill says flat today, keeping my eyes on CRCL. Okay. CRCL. CRCL getting a pop. See if it can get going here. Oh, wow, that's a hard trade to take though. It's just the lack of volume. You see the way that's moving.
Yeah.
I
like agree.
you have to be in that array to take advantage of that. You just try to get in there, you're gonna get a horrible entry. You're $4 from the VWAP. Again, if you're trading anything, risk management, guys. Like, mind your number of shares here. That's a $4 move off the VWAP, almost 5. So you try to be a hero and you get caught on the wrong side of things. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Don't be a hero.
Yeah, don't be a hero. not in trading, not in day trading. Be a hero to your kids, to your wife, your family, but not here. This is not the place to do that. Let's see. Wow, look at that pop. Yes, Andrew is trading. Absolutely, Andrew is trading. He is he is in chat. If you guys want to see him live, head over to the chat room to the website bearbutraders.com, and we got a discount for you guys, right? We sent that out. It's right there. If you scroll up, you're gonna say kickstart your trading journey for just $19. There's the link. You get everything. Chat room. You get educational material. So you get a real feel of what the environment is like, right? So. But yes. Here it is, CRCL. He is right now. I see him in CRCL. I don't know what other stuff he's in at the moment, but he is in CRCL. I'm sure what it looks like. If you come over here, there it is. There's Andrew in CRCL looking for a long here above the VWAP. So let's see if that happens. CRCL could be so explosive. Have you guys seen the daily on this stock? It is just wild. So let's see. Let's see if it can get going here. Looks like it wants to, man. Maybe high of the day. Let's see. But the stock, there's not a lot of IPOs that open up and then do this, right? Like just keep going higher and higher. They usually open up, have a crazy day, and then this is come back down. This one is calmly, well, not calmly, but slowly this is getting higher and higher. 227, 228. We're going to get the pop here. Who meant Rohit, you mentioned this in chat. Did you take it? Hopefully you took it, man, because you did. That's the only reason I pulled it up. You called it out. So hopefully you took advantage of it and you're in this. So Nvidia is just garbage. AMD, man, did Andrew survive that pullback? AMD's working. I hope he did. Oh, AMD is working. He wants the high of the day. Coin's finally moving up following CRCL. Coin. Yeah, very slow and steady on Coin. CRCL. Trying. Tesla at 323.27. BOTR. Trying to get to the VWAP. Tesla could be doing a good reversal, friends. If we see some strength, this could be a good double bottom. And off a level too of this 323.27.5 here. Let's see if it's gonna be strong, but never mind. It's not showing strength at all. Wow.
No.
Peter would have still been in this short, taking profits in. Man, what a pain, Peter. This would have been just an awesome trade to end the week. It's all right, though. We have all day. We have all day. Yeah, I know. I brought it up. I'm
Don't
sorry.
remind me. Why?
It's so good.
Why?
So good.
I know. Oh, well. What can you do? Right?
Nope.
At least I could take some comfort. I knew what I was looking for. I saw the signals. I just now need to, do the third part. You got to see it. Yep. You got to know what you're looking for. You got to see it. Then you have to take action.
CRCL long 100 shares. No, man, I don't have a I get it, but I don't have a strategy, Sam, here. I really don't, so bull flag here. Oh, there we go. Andrew is gonna crush this thing, man. This will probably be his biggest winner if it goes here. Just looking at his screen. I don't know why I'm looking at his screen when I could look at mine. Why am I looking at his chart when I have the same chart up here? The weird things traders do. Okay. Came back from 3K on a coin to plus 7. Oh, you came back from down 3,000 to plus 74. Ooh. White nose jack, man. And hey, take a break. Enjoy that. That's big. That's big. I've been there, done that. That's big. So you want to just cool the jets, man. You dodge a big one. Yeah. That's a big one. So that's the biggest $74 win you're gonna have. Trust me. That is big. Here we go. CRCL. Oh, nice. Andrew's parceling. Beautiful stuff. There it is. So Andrew taking parcel on CRCL. See if we can get the continuation. We need the continuation. Nice, guys. Yep. Yeah, Walden. It is again real nice. Just be careful with the number of shares on this thing. But yeah, this is the stock is in play. QBT Tesla's going to go red. Tesla's going red. You besides the trade period, you were right about just the sentiment, right? Look at this thing. It's
oh well. AMD.
AMD. AMD's meeting a lot of resistance at this 132.77. It's not tested it around 3 times already, and it's just not having it, man. Having a hard time at 132.71. We don't discuss Tesla anymore today. Yeah,
Hey, look,
we'll
it's
leave
okay, right?
Tesla alone. Yeah.
We need the reminder so that I do better next time. Do better.
Yeah. Did you miss Starlight? Did you miss Tesla or did you get it? What was the deal? Tesla was so nice to me today. Oh, Umberto, nice man. Glad you got some action there. No, I was done at 8:30. Ah, sweet, very nice. Awesome,
8:30.
man.
Wow.
Awesome. All right, let's see here. This thing is gonna explode. A CRCL. Andrew's in. He's taking a partial added. This thing looks like it wants to take off here. There it is. All right, friends. Anything else? What's happening? I don't see much on my end right now. Anything you guys like that you're seeing that looks good? What are you guys looking at? Peter, anything for you? Anything you got your eye on?
No, I mean I'm keeping my eye on AMD here. It's
Yep.
it's sort of triple topped.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it at 132.71 ish area.
Yeah.
That looks like it's at VWAP now. What's this? SSR. Oh, we saw this earlier. SRM. Look at that move, man. Wow. What is this company about? Oh, this is the one that just went nuts the last couple of days. Yeah. Oh man. Boy, oh boy. Good stuff. Out of AMD, plus or minus 11% on my puts. No, plus 11% on my puts. Good job. Good job. Meta. Wow, Meta. That's a nice trend down there on Meta. Things are looking weak, man. Things are, if you look at my list here, a lot of stuff I had in the green is starting to slide off here. POTR went red. Nvidia went red. Tesla went red. Things are starting to slide. Meta, obviously, red here as well. Very, very interesting. I like ATST's great trend. Recently got a partnership with Double Phone in India. That's a Double Phone is I think in my country Verizon. I remember, you know how they put the name of the company that you're like when you're roaming, they put the name of the company you're connected to. I think in my country that was one of the things that came up in Dominican Republic, and it's like an orange logo. I might be bugging, but it might be that one. ASTS. Let's take a look here. Yeah, good push. Dobaphone, Vodafone, Voda. I don't remember what it was. Let's see here. But yeah, things are sliding as a SPY, sliding AMD. Nvidia, messy. CRCL bouncing off the VWAD, drop, and then a bounce here. That's not the VWAD, the moving average is 20. POTR, no good. Yeah. Trying to show here on Google, thoughts 5-minute ORB looks bearish. 5-minute ORB, we are still within the hour, so you could have an opportunity. 5-minute ORB. So you're pulling it off the wicks here. Let's see. I don't know, but you know what?
Google? Let's see. Let's check.
Yeah, 5-minute offer, and I'm sure you're playing it off the wicks, right? Because if you're looking to get in like in here, hopefully you got in on this pullback because that would give you a better entry if that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, I feel like we're well past the 5-minute ORB signal, right? Like after
Well,
that,
you could do it up to an hour. You could do it up to an hour, but the chances are like, much slimmer. So,
I mean, you increase your time frame. I could see what you're saying. Like you look at a 15 or even a 30-minute chart, then definitely you got an engulfing 30 here, and yeah, Google looks weak, but I don't trust those, to be honest.
Yeah, I never taken a 5-minute RB that late in the day. Actually, no, I can say never. I have, but not often. Not often. But aside from the 5-minute RB, man, this looks weak, right? You got I like the drop here. I like the pullback, and then you can see we're making new lows. So this can at least, I think, go to 172.50. At least test the low of the day. How much more after that, I don't know. But if you're in this short, hopefully you got a good entry around 173. I mean, you're almost there. You're almost there to 172, 50 at least. So let's see. 50-cent move. This candles. You're loving this candle, Ray Tricks here. Yeah. Oh, you are playing it off of here. Yeah, if you're playing it off of that pullback, I mean, I don't know what your strategy, your trade management is, but you're in the driver's seat right now with this candle. So very, very nice. All right, friends, if you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. It does help out the channel, keep us live here, chatting with you guys. We still got a full day. It might feel like a full day. I feel like I'm ready to start my weekend like right now, right? With this, it's just, and then my kids have it worse. My two younger ones, my daughter's off, but my two younger ones, they have school today. They were off yesterday. They have school today, and then they have school Monday, and then they're off for the summer. Like, why are we coming back Monday? The school system does some weird things, man. I just don't understand it. Like, there's no reason to come back to school on Monday for these kids. So, but yeah, so they got even more weird.
Yeah, it seems punitive, especially with, like you said, one day, weekend, one day, and then off. Like,
yeah, really? Now it's because the teachers have to be there the whole week, so it doesn't affect them. But why you got us?
Now, I was driving by a school yesterday as I was running my errands, and their kids were all getting onto the bus at the end of the school day, and I have to assume that was their last day of school, because there was a couple of teachers dressed as clowns, and they were cheering the bus as it was going, and they were leaving, and I'm like, that can't be a normal thing. I don't know. I don't normally drive by that school at 3:45, right, when I was doing it yesterday, but I thought, well, that's strange.
Yeah, they've been having lots of fun, man. All this week's been activities. Look at Circle Go here. What a piece of, gave you a hard time, but it's trying to go. They've been having like ice cream trucks pull up for the day. They've been having all kinds of activities.
Wow.
They've been enjoying themselves. Andrew's asking, how is trading, friends? And He had a bad day. Oh,
Yeah,
had a bad
he hasn't
day.
had a good day of it here.
Yep, yep. Well, CRCL was going to be the one, and then that drop messed a lot of people up. Oh, Sam, what state are you in? You in New Jersey? It's the same for him. AMD is leveling. Um, yeah, AMD actually became a
Oh,
beautiful uh, double top on the 5 minute. No, not really in the 5 minute. I see a triple top in the 1 minute. Like a lot of resistance. Like very clear that 132.71 was a problem. Very clear there. I had a good one on GRRR and CRCL. Life Without Grass TV. Did Andrew make 74K? He would have if this CRCL would have played nice. It's
if it would have
garbage.
cooperated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, come on. And these are big moves. Like you gotta think about it, right? Like it might not seem like, wait, what? You might say, well, why is this a problem? What's a problem? Because this is 331 and this is 225. Like
Right.
it might seem like regular size candle, but these are not. These are massive, massive moves that the stock is making. So I mean, the low
Oh,
of
I
the
did look it
pre-market
up
was
the other
206. Yeah.
GRR, the Gorilla Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It looks pretty flat to me. I mean, it gapped up clearly this morning, huge, 40% over yesterday's Wednesday's
Yeah.
close, but it doesn't. It's not doing much.
Gotcha. Oh, Sam, you're in Dubai. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yep. Yep. Nice. But with you in spirit in New Jersey. Ah, I love that. There we go.
No, Sam, it was the it I sort of saw it. If you looked at the IPO day, it actually didn't move initially. It moved a little bit later. So I watched it just for the initial launch of the IPO and then said, oh, it's going to be like all the other ones. And it turns out I was wrong because it clearly moved, but it didn't in the first few minutes like I normally expect of an IPO. So, or a good IPO is what I'm, you know what I mean?
Brenton KJ says, I'm a teacher. They just got to get their minutes in. Yeah. I'm sure there's some state. Yeah, you're right. There's probably some state minimums they're required to put in. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you do like I know here they do like they have those PD days, professional development days. I used to think they were named after me. They were Peter Donnelly days, but apparently it stands for professional
Something
development.
else? Okay, okay.
I used to tell all my classmates, "You're welcome. I got you another holiday." But what they've started to do is that they don't always take them throughout the year anymore.
Wow.
They sort of save them up, and then the kids get like an extra week off school at the end, and then the teachers, I guess, get a whole week of development activities, or they take it
Mm-hmm.
as vacation. I don't know what they do with it, but sometimes when they run short, it's like a week less a day. So maybe that's why you're coming back on the Monday. They were short a day.
Yeah, yeah. No, makes sense. Makes sense, yeah.
I'm not sure that's the best way to do it, but you know.
Makes sense. And they got the snow days too. Like we got a couple of snow days that we had banked for and
Right.
they ended up just throwing them out there. Since we didn't use them for the winter wasn't bad at all. This winter was easy peasy, man. It was simple. Um Wow, big drop on Nvidia. Uh that was pretty nice. Raytrix, did you
Oh, wow.
stay in
AMD.
yeah,
AMD ended up moving down.
Nvidia? Is this semi news? MU, yeah, some semi stuff going on right there. And semis are taking a nice dive here. Let's see here. I'm trying to look up what's going on. It looks like it's and semis are are diving here, taking a bit of a bloodbath. Nvidia, AMD as well. Wow, but Nvidia is really it's moving nicely here.
Yeah.
Tesla too. And now the market is rolling over. Obviously, all these big names pushing it down. OTR. Man, what a nice Raytrix is. Don't you hate that? Raytrix by the way is in on Google. So he's short Google. He's been in it for probably in this area, one right around here on the pullback. And it seems like everything else is dropping hard except your stock.
Yeah.
It's just I hate when that happens. Oh man, it's like why? It happened to me with Nvidia. We traded here live. I was long Nvidia. Everything else was going up except Nvidia. I'm like, why is Nvidia not moving? I'm in this trade. I taken a partial rate, I think, and everything moved up except my trade. It just didn't make no sense whatsoever. But that's how it is sometimes. Raytrix, you picked the wrong horse. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at AMD and look at Nvidia, I mean, they're all just getting smacked. POTR. Tesla. QBT, not so much. Meta was already struggling, so it didn't drop much, just a little bit, because it's already had a rough day. Yeah, you're getting it now. The new low on Google there as well. You're getting it.
Oh, look at the drops. Why was I not just take them? Take the trade. Oh,
Well, he's not short on everything.
Yeah. It's my favorite move. Short on everything.
Yep.
Well, that's okay. It's still lots of day to go.
Stefan says, I'm very often on the wrong horse with Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia has not been easy to trade, man. Say again, Peter?
I said it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Easy to
And
do on my horse.
Nvidia has been tough, man. If you look at Nvidia in the last couple of days, the first hour or so, it's a lot of this. You're just not getting the continuation. We barely got it here. Quick drop. This is a great trade. 1 minute ORB breakdown with an engulfing crack. I normally do not trade that. Breakout here was great. We joined the long here for 146 and higher. Didn't get the breakout. I mean, it's and you get this more often than not. I got a couple of trades. Same way. Get in, you expect a run, you just don't get it. So has not been you know what? It's not gonna fall out of our usual suspects list, but it's getting close to getting replaced by AMD. AMD is gonna.
How are you guys doing? Hey, Carlos, Peter.
Hey, good morning. How are you, Andrew?
Hey, Andrew. Good morning.
How was your trading, guys?
A rough morning. Sounds like
I had a really bad morning. Yeah, just really, really bad. I gave all the profit of on Wednesday out. Yeah, it was just stupid. Like, I don't know why. I just missed this AMD. AMD was a pretty good trade. So as you see, I actually don't have a really good trading day. Very big loss. It's just the Tesla was bad. I tried to catch long on Tesla. It was not great. And then AMD and CRCL as well. How was your trading day, guys, at the open?
It was rough. Kind of like a little bit of win on Nvidia, then break even, but we couldn't find anything, man. It was a tough day. And Peter, you haven't taken a trade yet.
No, I should have been short on Tesla. I'm still kicking myself over that because Andrew, I was looking at Tesla. I was short biased all morning, and you were going long on it, and you're normally right. And it was just one of those where I second guessed myself. It started to drop, and I was like, missed it.
I don't think I'm normally right, but thanks for that.
You are. So, but anyways, you know what happens? I should have just trusted my gut,
Yeah, so what I did on Tesla was that Tesla opened very strong, was gapping up 2-3%. I went long above the VWAP. I got a stop down. That was a big loss. Then I tried to catch a double bottom on it. I got a stop down. So two loss. That was my biggest loss on Tesla. And CRCL, I did 3-4 times. It was messy. Like I'm not really comfortable trading these lower float stocks. And AMD was a great trade, but I didn't partial on time. I really wanted 133 and I got out. And NVIDIA also a couple of times. NVIDIA is absolutely garbage. Like I really am not like it's been like since like 3 weeks. Like look at how it's been traded in this narrow range. It seems that nobody wants NVIDIA more than higher than that, and nobody wants to sell it below this. So it's absolutely garbage. And really, really disappointing. Like the daily chart is absolutely disgusting.
Look, Andrew, if nothing else, I look at that P&L that you just put up there, and I want you to reflect on how far you've come in this trading journey. I remember the day when you had that big loss in the stock that shall not be named, and it was 10% of this. And
Yeah.
that was disastrous, right? Like think at the time that was so much more impactful, where this you could say, look, it's a bad day, but you can take it in stride within your trading profile and manage that risk, right? It's you come a long way, man. It's so bad
Still
day,
is
they
one.
happen.
It's almost 1% of my accounts. But when you put it in the perspective, is it's still 1% of my account, but the number is huge. Like my salary used to be that much for 1 year.
Right.
But again, you have to look at it this way. You have to look at, you have to understand that you can't be winner every single day, over the long period of the time. So like we have 220 trading days. So you should be able to, if you manage your risk, you should be able to get something like 100% return or something, average 0.5%. But I had a good day. Like the last few trading days, like last 2 weeks was pretty good. So like I posted some of my trades and P&L in the recap in YouTube, so you can actually see that. So it was pretty good. So I can't really complain.
Marcel, you just read Andrew's book. Yeah, he's got a couple out there. All good, good, valuable advice. Wow, Google really dropped here this morning. Everything sort of did, right? It was looking promising at the open. Google, Meta, Amazon, Apple, even Tesla, Nvidia, of course. They all big drops. Well, you have to read Andrew's books. It's cost of entry. Day one, I no, they can keep the membership. We won't ask for the membership back.
Oh, we had some really good trading. Like Brandon did some really nice trading at the open. He did Paris did a really nice short on Tesla. That was a really, really nice. Paris did a really, really nice trade on Tesla short. Thor did a nice short on Google. Brandon did some really nice on CRCL. So it was a very, very nice then. CRCL is really meh. Carlos did some nice trading on NVIDIA at the open, shorted that, yeah. Yeah, so Paris trades is really nice. So you can actually see that. Carlos, if you can see the full screen. So this is the time that actually I went long on Tesla. Paris went short, and then Paris really adds really nicely on these pullbacks, and that's what I love about him. Paris also has a really nice course on this price action and order flow trading. So he does these courses and stuff. He goes through this, how he actually sees the So he actually added here, so for the move down. It's really nice. I love you, Tesla. It's as Paris says.
He does love his Tesla,
He does
and
love
for
his
good
Tesla.
reason. Tesla's made him lots of money.
All right. CRCL.
Oh man! All right, well, you have to wait for later moves, guys. Whatever you do, be patient. Be patient. Kroger actually moved a little higher. Volume's really low, though.
Ooh.
Paris has my trade. Oh, see, Paris, that's exactly the trade I was looking at. Oh my goodness, what a lovely trade, Paris. At least somebody got it. Look at that.
That's
He
the
even added every pullback. Beautiful. That's a Paris classic trade right there. That's what we love about this community, guys. We got so many good traders who, have different strategies and approaches to the market, and there's room for everybody. I think you're missing the first part of that trade, Andrew.
The first part of what?
Oh, the Tesla trade, in what you're highlighting.
Yeah, I did.
Omid. Okay, so Paris isn't the only one. Omid also got in on Tesla short. That's great. Well done. Quiet day, I think, guys. It's going to be a quiet afternoon, probably. We've had good trading, though, in the afternoons. As I said, this week has actually been good. Gives me a lot of hope for this summer. Normally, summers are a little quieter. You don't get quite the same price action after the open, but that's a general rule. Doesn't mean it's always that way. Like we had some
It
summers
used to
that
be
have been
like that,
fantastic.
Peter. I think it used to be like that. They were saying that traders are at the beach, not at the bid. But I don't remember
Right.
since 7, 8 years that we're trading actively. The summer has always been amazing. Like I think it was that's like an old Wall Street myth.
Again, are you? I mean, the afternoons definitely are quieter over the summer. The open is still the open, though. I would say, but my experience is that it is a little less. You don't get as many good moves. But that being said, Andrew, it's not reserved just for the summer. Like the last 2 months have been a lot quieter in the afternoon than typically you would see. A lot fewer moves. So I don't know what's changed other than maybe it's just
Liberation Day.
just,
You guys are liberated from.
I think so to a certain degree because we are more news driven. So it's a lot of the sometimes people just wait, right? They're looking for the news events rather than actively trading without them.
Oh, what time is it? 20 minutes left to this miserable day.
You know, it's all a matter of perspective, Andrew. I guess it's miserable if you lose money. Paris probably thinks it's a fantastic day.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Alex in the palm tree is trying to give you some perspective. Just look out the window. Look at this beautiful view you've got. We were saying triple witching. Is it triple witching today? I didn't think we were. Is this the last Friday of the month? Wouldn't the triple witching be next week? No.
Private messages. No, Amir, I didn't get any private messages.
It's today. All right. Okay. There you go. It's the third Friday. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. You're right. It is the third Friday. My bad. Okay.
Oh, something is happening. It's probably setting off. Oh, SPY is selling off. Is there any news? Trading Terminal says that or no? So Samantha, I do trade 1 minute opening range breakout. So I don't wait always for 5 minutes.
Taiwan Semiconductor hitting a low of 210.44. Again, Wall Street Journal reporting that the Commerce Department is seeking to hold export waivers for Samsung, SK Hynix, and Taiwan Semiconductor TSMC in China. That's Tango Sandy Michael.
Did you guys hear Benzinga in the chat room? My background. Are you hearing that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. So when I'm actually live streaming in the chat room, is they can't hear the background noise, but when I'm coming through Zoom for live chat room, they can actually hear it.
Yep. Yeah, that's Sebastian's done a good job of setting up the room filters so that it cuts that stuff out, but seems like the vMix doesn't do the same. Jose, that's a good question. Andrew, when is your new book release?
Next week probably. Yeah, we pretty much finished the cover. Just do one last round of look at it, and by next week, yeah.
Trade is circulating. Are you Rumble?
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Wallets.
So then the new book is about how to build a system. Like we talk about the strategies a lot, but a strategy is only one element of trading. The technology, strategy, and psychology are important, and then you have to build the system in there. The system has to tell you how to identify the setups, how to select the stocks, and how to enter the trade, how to manage the trade, and how to manage your psychology in there. That's why in this book I have co-authored with Crede. She talks about the mental edge, having mental edge. So how to build a system, like put everything together. And one of the chapters, I think about 6 trade books that in the last 4 or 5 years that we are running Peak Capital, you see how people actually put their trade book together, which you probably don't understand a lot, but it gives you a sample because the trade book is very, specialized to that DNA of that person. But you can just go through it and see how actually people build trade books and setups and everything. And there are some repetitions with the previous books that we have, but it's a book that teaches you how to build a system. I think it's probably the most comprehensive book in building a trading system as a discretionary system. There are some books on algorithmic trading, that how you can actually build a, completely mechanical system, but this is a discretionary trading that we're doing. All right, so reversal on AMD. Yeah, AMD lost it really like crazy. Can't believe AMD lost it like that. Tesla robotaxi. Is Tesla robotaxi delayed?
Well, that's unclear. It's supposed to be happening Sunday, it looks like, but Texas lawmakers are urging Tesla to delay it. Tesla hasn't said anything yet as to whether they're delaying it or not, so we're not sure. Find out this weekend, I guess. Zephy, they want to delay until September. They got some new law coming out, and I couldn't figure out, is that beneficial or not for Tesla and their non-piloted vehicles? I'm not sure. But yeah, I doubt Tesla's going to delay until September. As much as they want to be cautious, there's a first mover, right? Benefit that they don't want to give up to other manufacturers. I mean, we know Waymo and others are nipping at their heels. I mean, arguably, I guess they're already a little behind, but Humberto, did you? Yeah, it was sort of a triple top on AMD. A little bit of a tough one because the third peak was the highest. But it, I mean, obviously it worked, so I'm sure you're pretty happy with that trade. But it did not meet my criteria.
Falling NVDA, AMD,
Wow, everything is
and Micron all following that Wall Street Journal report.
Wall Street Journal reports about chips. What was that?
I just see this headline here that U.S. prepares action targeting allies' chip plants in China.
Yeah, that's 6 minutes ago. This is the link to Wall Street Journal. Samsung, Taiwan Semiconductor.
Yeah. So they're going to force them to license each product at each production run, I would assume. Huh. Humberto, that's great. Good move. I mean, strong move down for anybody that caught it.
NVDA. I think something is going to happen this weekend. I think something is happening. I think they're going to hit Iran this weekend. They usually do it when the market is closed.
Yeah.
This afternoon, Friday afternoon. Take my word.
Yeah. I hope you're wrong, but you're probably
Friday afternoon they hit it, so you have like almost 48 hours to see if there is any response or if there's anything happening. So when the market opens, you don't see huge volatility. They definitely don't do it during the market open. My family is safe. They moved to north part of Iran when there is no wars, just more resort towns and stuff. Uh, but the internet is a big issue. It's really coming and going. It would be a holy war if it died. I don't think it would be a holy war if it died. Like I think if they hit the supreme leader, I think the war would be over, actually. Like it doesn't seem that Iran has this war shows that it's not about the tank and missiles. It's all the intelligence war these days. Drones and intelligence. That's the future. That's the present of the wars. It's really not it's not about it's all intelligence.
Russia is demanding that Israel immediately cease attacks and raids on.
Right. So
Iran.
10 minutes to 11. So Nvidia is losing it, Qs are losing it, SPY losing it. So all these pop at the open, everything really sold off. IWM was up over 1%, and now it really sold off. Wow. Nobody wants to hold anything overnight. Yeah, as Jared said, the risk of overnight holding is big. So nobody's buying now. Even nobody buying bonds. TLT is down another 0.8%.
Yeah, it's quite a reversal, isn't it? Because we were green in the
Russian
pre-market,
ambassador speaking
looked
at
like
the
we were
UN
going to move
Security
higher,
Council.
and then bam, just the big sell-off.
Hey guys, one thing that I wanted to mention that is again, everybody knows that, but just want to mention that there's a lot of people in social media messaging you. They create fake accounts, and the accounts are very similar, except that there's one letter that is changing. Like for example, AIM and BBT would be one extra B. Then they message you, they ask for money, they ask for fund that account, managed investment and everything. Do not send any money, crypto, wire, anything to them. That has happened multiple times to some of our members, that they either send money with crypto or they wire money to some Eastern European banks that it's difficult to trace. So, I mean, in 2025, you should know that these kind of things are spam, and be careful on that. And now, especially with the AI, so it's very important. Like you see sometimes the videos of me or Ayman that talking to you, and with my voice and everything, directly a message for you. That happened actually. So and say, hey, I'm really looking forward to working with you, blah, blah. These are all AI generated. So be careful, really, really careful, double check. And overall, never give your money to anybody. As soon as you gave your money to someone, it's gone.
That is certainly true. We will never ask you for your money to trade for you. So if you see someone sending a message like that, it's not us.
Yeah, come on, 2025, you gotta know better than this. Like if people get scammed in this call, come on, like really, like especially with this whole AI, like it really freaks me
Yeah.
out. Like you really see these videos, that it's just you
Oh, yeah.
think it's true. This is sending me a personal message.
Yep. And it is hard to tell, right? I mean, I think what you have to lean on these days is if you didn't initiate it and you're not, completely confident of who you're talking to, you got to assume that it's a scam. I've been caught in that sometimes the other way, right? Where like, I've actually been called by my bank or something, and I'm like, I don't believe it's you. So I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call back the number I know, see if it's real.
Yeah,
You got
it's
to be
true.
careful. And sometimes it turned out to be correct, and they're like, "Yeah, we did try and contact you," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I just can't trust anyone nowadays, unfortunately."
No, they actually they recommend that have a safe word with your family, because again,
that,
your
yeah.
mom can call you, same voice, same everything, FaceTime with you, and then ask you something, and it's AI generated. So, which I think it's reasonable as we go into this, the quality of these AI generated videos and everything and voices and everything gets better and better. So it's not bad to actually have a safe word. Like Peter and I, our safe word would be AMD. What do you think about that?
Yeah, but now you've put it online, Andrew. Now we have to change it.
With Brian is diddly doodly.
Diddly doodly.
For humanity, yeah. Just...
yeah.
All right, so 5 minutes, guys. So Paris is coming into the chat room with Gary to talk about his trade on Tesla. Obviously, Paris is a very good trader. He also has a really nice course in Trading Terminal. It comes with some mentorship. And then Thor is coming out there on YouTube. So he's going to talk about his cam trading and VPA. And yeah, Thor also trades live with P Capital. If you want to trade with Thor live, he's doing P Capital trading. So that's really, people have a lot of positive feedbacks on that.
Yeah, I think well, Thor had a good day too. It looked like, at least from the trades that he
shorted
posted.
Google, I think. CRCL is setting up now. Circle Internet. What a crazy stock this CRCL is. Yeah, it's really freaky, these scams and stuff.
Yeah, it's and what bothers me are those that they always target the most vulnerable, of course, because they're easiest. But yeah, like I worry about my mother-in-law. And fortunately, in her case, she, often they're like they keep calling her with these computer scams, and she's like, "I don't have a computer," and they're like, "You're lying. Everybody has a computer." And she's like, "I don't have one." So she likes to argue with them.
Yeah. Another thing is that these phishing emails are also really tricky. Like I got an email from X that, content violation, and I looked at it. The email was perfect. I looked at the URL, was X, hyphen violation. It was very like X. Then I click on that to, dispute and reactivate my account, ask for username and passwords. Then I looked at it and said that, they find this URL that is very accurate. So that's how your, social media gets hacked. So it's it's super important to check the URL, double check the URL, Google, these kind of things. So
yeah, it's they're getting very good, and they're getting very creative too. Like I get all these little crazy scams that like hadn't seen before, and I'm trying to remember like some of them that come up where I'm like, oh, that was very creative. Where they don't actually ask you for anything up front, and they give you just enough information to make it look real, make it look innocuous, and then of course later on is when they get into the, can you just confirm your account information? Like, nope, not doing that. Yeah, there you go, Mike. That's good.
That's why really, I never really had any interest to have any crypto wallet, because that freaks me out. Like if they stole from your crypto wallet, you can never really get it back. Like if you have $10 million in your Interactive Brokers account, it's almost impossible to steal it from you. because, you know, it takes authorization to withdraw, and then they have to connect it to a bank, and the bank has to be, you know, have the relationship with IB. And then if you wire, if they're a part of suite, you can recall the wire. So it's very difficult in the banking system to, but crypto, they can come to your, you know, with these malwares in your computer, empty your wallet, and then it's gone forever. Like even Iran recently during the war, you know, hacker groups attack and exchange $38 million gone. So yeah, Amy, well, if, some of the exchanges are, but they come attack your wallet directly. And even FDIC, I know in the banks are up to $250,000 insured, and their insurance is not against this kind of things. Insurance is if they go under, like the banks go under, your deposits are insured. I don't think they're insured like for these kind of cyber securities.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, have we got Paris or Thor? I guess here, Paris in the chat room.
So
Should be Paris.
All right,
Paris
guys. Thank you
up in
so
the
much,
chat.
guys. Have a good weekend, and see you guys in the chat room. Thor, go ahead. Yeah, it was interesting too.
Take care, everybody. Trade smart.
It's not like if someone hacks your bank account, that means there's like insurance money to cover your bank account getting hacked. That's not what FDIC. It's insurance that says if that financial institution goes under, there is they will you know, give you your money back up to, you know, I think right now it's currently like 250K or something, and then done, right? So even then it's only a certain amount.
How is everyone doing?
Oh, I got Paris in that other room. Oh no, I think I have Paris.
Hey,
You're good, Thor. It was Sandra. I muted already. You're good.
Okay. You never know, my friend, you know, which direction this thing's coming from. For me, it could be this way, it could be that way. You know how we do this. Hello, YouTube land. Good to see you out there. I have a very exciting trading day to share with y'all. We had some really good call outs today. Today was a little complicated because there wasn't a lot right at the open. So you had to be really patient, I think, to get in a good trade. We got a good alert on Google. I want to share with you my Google trade that I got my full move on, and then we still just see it running. So frustrating, but so good, right? This is why we just get the money we get. But as you can see here on my screen, we actually had a lower range, wider range R3 call out on Google. So I went ahead and hit that in DOS. Off of that called level here in TV, and went ahead. So this is a trade on my Interactive Brokers account, and you can see, look how glorious this trade has worked as we're moving ourselves. I mean, we're completely falling outside of range now, and just an absolutely amazing breakdown on Google. Now you think, oh man, he must be bummed because he missed that big old Google trade. Whatever, Mark, don't ruin my parade. I know what you're up to here. I'm just kidding. Love you, brother. But look at this beautiful thing. Get ready, people. Right off of ATR high, right? So for those of you who don't have the indicator, we have actually coded an indicator for ATR high. It's the adaptive ATR limits by BruzzX, same as my Camaria pivot plays. So, and you can see here, look at how good ATR high worked today as a calculation method. This was calculated before the market opened. Look at that. Right, so we went right up into it, wicked right to ATR high, came off of it. We made a new low, so I went ahead and shorted. This is a full size NQ contract, for the record. Right, so you can imagine my stop was above the high, and I went for I made 2K on this trade, so I was really excited because this is one of my actual better single trades that I've taken. So as far as just profitability goes, one contract, one in, one out, really clean trade. So and it was replicated, obviously, so it actually ended up being quite nice. And then I hit my full target on Google. So between all of those, I'm having an absolutely fantastic day. And I also, just to share the last week or throughout the week, yesterday, if you're following my social, you would have seen this one. Yesterday, even though the market was closed, futures was not. So you can see yesterday we actually had a call out in the morning. So I went ahead and got a short and got you know, while we were open for a little while, managed to still get a very good hit there. So I do in the Bear Bull Traders chat room. I sure do. I call them after I've gotten into them. I don't like if I took an entry while we were trading Raytrex right now, like if I was going to take another trade, I would tell you if I was taking it or not. So, but I have my small group mentoring room that I kind of hang out in the mornings, and I actively you know, I actively talk with them while the market is open, right? And then in the BBT room I actively chat as well during the opens, and you know, and that's I actually called the NQ ATR high. You know, if you were in the BBT room, if you scroll back, you'll actually see a location where I says we are at ATR high on NQ. I don't think we can, or what did I say? I don't know how much higher we're gonna go, right? Because we were there, right? So, and as soon as I said that at this candle, and then when it wicked up and hit it and came off of it, I was like, all right, this is happening. So that's why I shorted there and just threw my stop above. It was just an ideal spot to attempt this trade. And I went for 2K. My buddy Mark in here, who was teasing me a second ago, told me to go for VWAP, and I guess I should have just done all that, right? So, I mean, what a great move, but who cares, right? Who wants to be greedy? You know, I've had NQ squeeze me so many different times. I just wanted that beautiful 4-to-1. So, let's look at PLTR, and then we'll talk about what was going through my mind. Who knows, Taz? Very empty up here. Just kidding. No, no. So I have for me, I have a very specific way I trade, right? So because we opened very high in the range, I was looking for a buy side sweep to go up and go into the inventory and then sell off of it, right? So we went up here and we bought premium, but we absolutely choked as we tried to go out. And then we hit ATR high, which was our calculated high. Right. So I just went ahead and got in short of it. Now, I will say this, Taz, one thing that has been very difficult, and then I'll go, and then I'll look at PLTR. One of the things that has been really difficult for me is sizing up. Right. So actually I'm kind of sizing up a little bit differently. Like most people size by increasing shares. I actually have sized by increasing by lowering the number of contracts and increasing the contract size. Right. So I'm trading full size contracts at times now. Instead of taking 4 or 5 micros, I'm taking one full size like NQ. The risk is a little bit more complicated to handle, or a little bit more complicated, but otherwise, you know, works once I got used to it. The hard part for me was the psychology behind it. I saw, but hold on. I thought I saw something like, what made you decide to short that answer? So the reason I shorted on NQ was because we were at ATR high. Right, so I was specifically looking for a seller at ATR high. So we can calculate based upon a 14-day look back how likely we are, what distance we are to travel, and we calculate it more or less the same way the algorithms do that the market makers use. So you can see here we came up here and we hit ATR high. That was the projection for today's high of day on NQ. So as soon as I saw a direct interaction there and a new low, I hit it. Now, the thing I would highly recommend, I'm going to try and hopefully have her on maybe in the next week or so. I've actually been doing a little work with our new performance psychologist that we have in here in Bear Bull Traders, Dr. Vanessa. Because one of the things I've actually been having trouble is I've been having trouble scaling. I like to be really honest with everybody and tell you about my journey. You know what I mean? I got stuck at $50 to $100 risk for like 2 or 3 years where I was making fair money, don't get me wrong, right? But I just kind of got stuck. And I was constantly having people tell me, dude, look at your stats, look how good you're trading, look at the things you're doing. You should push and you should go for more. And I just couldn't do it. So I've actually been kind of working on some of those different things on how to, you know, detach, even though I really don't even focus on P&L, I'm more of an R person. Even am trying to work on detaching, you know, from some of that stuff. So, you know, so if you guys get an opportunity, she does quite a few sessions. I'm going to try and have her on here so that you guys can kind of get a little bit of that. But anyway, so I've been switching to full-size contracts, right? And that's really been beneficial, but holding through the pullbacks, because my risk level is now not $200, it's like 300 and something, right? So it's like holding through that bigger pullback, but so I can get 2K out of a trade. I mean, it's awesome, and my stats totally support it. But you know, this was probably the first full-size trade I've taken where I had zero emotional getting into it. Like when I got into it, it just felt right idea. I liked my thought process going into it, so I just didn't worry about it otherwise. So PLTR, but one of the reasons why it's great to be a member inside, yeah, look at PLTR coming down here. One of the great reasons it is to actually join Bear Bull Traders and you know, behind the paywall is getting access to like Wednesdays psychology sessions and like some of the mentoring sessions and stuff like that. It's just stuff you're not going to get out here on the tube. But you get me out here on the tube. So that might be a good thing. I do not like a play here on PLTR at all, for the record. So I have no active play being shown. The reason is we're on a narrow higher range. On a narrow higher range, we would expect to go outside. And we already went outside. So the thought would have to be after 10:30, you know, we're gonna make new highs and run the entire range and break out the other side. It's doable, but it's just not a play I would really agree in. I think this will most likely, looking at the VPA, we will probably sell and probably close down. Now we did get a positive, you know, a good order block down here. So I mean, we do have an area where we can kind of watch where we expected to see buying. It's working, but I don't know. My expectations for this being a big move for me. But let's look at the book on this thing. It is buying quite nicely. I mean, that being said, the order book does look quite bullish. So it looks like it wants to go to 140 right now, which would be this order block right here, just above 140. So you'd be looking at a target of like 140.20. So the ATR high code and the cam code that I use are both written by Bruz X. So if you type adaptive ATR limits, you'll find those. And if you type in Camaria pivot plays, you'll find those. Now, I forget if I said this or not. I don't think I did. Thor mode is ready. We are ready on Thor mode. I tested it all week in all kinds of environments. It was, as far as I was concerned, it was the highest performing version of my varied calculations that I like. So Thor mode is a go. So Bruz is going to be giving it the old spit shine here for, you know, like over the weekend, and maybe a little polish just to make sure everything's exactly where it is. And then we're going to go ahead and push that bad boy. So what Thor mode is when you go to all these different cam configurations, you will have a version on the new version of the Camaria pivot plays that will now look like this. It'll say options preset, and you'll be able to go and have your cams. Either you can set the default, use the defaults, or use none and set your own. You can use what's called the default cams, which is like basically the world's most common calculation. You have DOS mode, which will make the cams match DOS. So if you're trading in DOS Trader platform and you want them to, you know, to look the same across both platforms because they work, you know, I mean, you want to match, you have that. If you're using TOS with futures, we have that calculation method. So that can match your TOS cams. And then we have Thor mode. Thor mode is specifically whatever my current configuration is that I'm using, right? So whenever I update my configurations, I will send an update to Bruz, and Bruz will update Thor mode, right? So Bruz is forever tied to me for the rest of his life. He can never go anywhere. It's quite sad for him. He has no idea what he signed up for. But you can see here that Thor, so you will have a Thor mode, right? And what that will allow you to do, right, in Thor mode is all you'll have to do is click Thor mode, and then all of the different presets all fill in with what I'm using. So you'll get the latest and greatest. The latest and the greatest of this stuff. This is the dev version. There is one that's on right now that still works well, but the Thor moded version is not available. It will be hopefully first thing next week. Tesla is actually a really nice buy here at S3. We don't have a call on it because it opened probably in the wrong place. Yeah, it opened too high to be a buy, in theory. I do like that we did find a good buy here. The VPA looks nice. We have a positive order block. That's true. We are near monthly support 3 as well. So there is a lot here that I think makes it look like a good potential long. If you're already long, I would definitely, let me look at the order book and see if we get any illumination on the order book. There's no, for anyone asking, there's no charge for these indicators, okay? I wrote a book, A Complete Day Trading System. I wouldn't mind if you bought it, if you haven't already. It's on Amazon. But once you read the book, the indicator you get for free, right? You just get it through there. I do this every so often. My apologies, shameless plugging. For our guy Bruz, between the two of us, we've easily got a couple hundred hours. I think he has a couple hundred hours by himself. I probably have added in another 100 or so hours of my personal time into, reviewing and going through different things. So there is a link on the indicators page itself that says buy Bruz a coffee. So if you want to throw Bruz a couple of bucks to help him buy a latte, because Starbucks is really expensive this time of year, feel free to do that. You don't have to. It will work on the free version of TradingView. The indicators, you just won't be able to do that. So yeah. So, but you won't be able to get the watch list. So one of the other things that's really cool about this indicator, right, so we just called PLTR actually. So you can come back and see what is it calling on PLTR right now. It's because it came back above S3. So now we're actually looking at a potential higher range play here. If it pulls back and holds S3 and then buys up through VWAP, we would be looking for a potential long here. That combined with how bullish PLTR's order book has been, might be a good idea. So we do have a big void down to 318, so it doesn't look like it's ready to reverse yet. So I do like the idea of it continuing. Our order structure, look at the laddering to 325, actually looks quite nice. So now that we've held here, this actually could end up being, and I would be looking for a buy here for a return to the open price at R3. If it buys, I'd really like to see it, because we did get a nice little push. We kind of created this fair. I just don't like that we're under VWAP right now. Really hard to go long when you're under VWAP. So you may want to let it buy here, offer, but if it buys through here, it's going to be an engulfing. I mean, it'll pop really nicely. So it should hold above this order block pre-market low in S3. If it fails these, then it's dead meat. So let's see the order book. I mean, looks nice though. All right. So the watch list is easy. So you just build your own, right? You just go in here, type in here, put the watch list, and then when you set the indicator, right, you can just go in here, and when you oh, I'm stupid. Sorry. Let me go here. When you set the alert, right, and you set up an alert, which I didn't do it right, and you hit plus, you can select your entire watch list and Camarilla pivot plays, right? I don't like how the VPA on this doesn't look fantastic for a long, for the record. But everything else does. But the VPA, like that push shouldn't have had a topside wick. The selling has way too much volume on the sell side. I'm kind of with you, Chris. I don't love it. See, so what I look for if I was going to long this would be, see how this had this green candle? I would have looked for a break of that buy candle. I don't like how we broke off of it and then came back and we couldn't have a couple buy candles. Oh, volume and price analysis. When I'm saying VPA. Let's see here. My apologies. What trading platform? Trading View. In Raytrix, VPA, volume and price analysis. A resource I'd highly recommend is Anna Cooling, Complete Guide to Volume and Price Analysis. She's a rock star. I'm actually reached out and I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to get her on the show to come by in this 11 to 12 segment. So I'm hoping we can pull that off. Fingers crossed. Ash, I'm going to answer that question by not answering it. Okay, buddy? So one of the things, unfortunately, due to the YouTube Landia and all that stuff, I'm no CPA. So things get really, really sketchy in these kind of environments if we start offering like tax advice and stuff like that. So for me, what I can do is I could tell you what I have done in mine to give you some direction for the conversation you're going to have with your CPA. Right. But you need to get a CPA and talk to a CPA. That way, that, you're going to do that. Now, I run all of my filings through my S Corp. Right. So it's a little bit different. Right. So that's going to also complicate things significantly. I can tell you that taxes, since I traded a lot more futures this year than stocks and equities, my taxes were nicer. Because they tax differently. So, there's some fun stuff there. But otherwise, but yeah, otherwise, I would really rock out getting a tax pro. So Pig, couple things going on here right now, right? Number one, right? We just had a very, very large sell and it's quad witching, right? Is everyone in here familiar what quad witching is and how that impacts the market? The other day we talked about like different order types and stuff. Okay, so let me talk just a small amount of quad witching. So basically so today is quad witching, right? So what does quad witching mean, right? When you talk about your varied contracts, right? So we have equities, right? And we have, varied, assets that are out there. All these equities have options, right? Options expire in different chains, right? Or different time frames, right? Options are, don't let me forget that question, Ash. Options have different expiration times, right? We have daily, we have weekly, and we have monthly, quarterly, right? So futures are monthly and quarterly, right? So on the third month of every year, so our cycles for our futures are, you're talking your M series contracts, your U series contracts, your Z series contracts, and your H series contracts. I can't believe I remembered that off the top of my head. Yeah, baby. And that's your March, your June, and then I'm going to forget that your Sept and your December, right? So every single quarter, all of your majors futures contracts cash settle, right? So which basically means you have to get out of them, right? And either buy the new contract or just take the cash. But if you don't get out of them, you're just going to take the cash because they will force you to take the cash, right? The contract is now closed. It has settled. It has hit its expiration. Today is that day, right? Today is the day that anyone who wanted to get out of the old contract and buy into the new contract, they had to do that, which is pretty much why we've been rallying all morning, right? So at the open, we squeezed, and then the optimism to buy the new contract waned, and we started selling off because basically everyone realizes we just bought massive amounts of premium, right? So I would not long NQ today. I don't think the market will be a long at any point in time today. At least it wouldn't be statistically. I would let today sell off. Today's probably going to be a hard sell and continue to be a hard sell throughout the day. Because this is very typical for quad witching, because you have this going on, so all of those different things all witched today, right? They're all expiring right now. So that's why on Monday we started trading the new contract, right? For those of you in YouTube that I announced it. For those of you in Bearable Traders, I posted it in the chat room, right? I said today is rollover. Right? When we say that today is rollover, what that means is there is now enough volume going into the new contract that we can go ahead and start trading on the new contract, right? We haven't actually witched yet, but we're going to go ahead and just start working on the new contract because our premium is close enough to the money now that we're not really losing anything by participating in it, right? The price action's good. We've got the volume, we can start playing now. But until we get rollover, and rollover basically happens the Monday of witching, witching normally being on the Friday, right? So that's why today we're kind of having the price action we're having today because we're in quad witching. So if you really want to know more about that, I would highly recommend coming by the Bearable Traders chat rooms sometime and talking to Jared. Jared in our chat room is an absolute genius when it comes to all of these varied aspects. And he can certainly break it down into significantly, larger levels of depth, right? But that's basically what's going on there. Now, do you have a recommendation for a CPA? I'm a new trader. Ash, Green, no affiliation that I'm aware of. Green, I want to say Green Tax Trader. Can anyone help me out here? You guys probably remember Green Tax Trader. I think it's Green Tax Trader, or something like that. I've heard very good things. They did a presentation for BBT like maybe a couple of years ago. I mean, if you're going to go with one, why not do one that specializes in trading? So let's see here. Oh yeah, good point, Bruggs. Everybody, if you're a momentary shill for the likes, if you haven't had a chance to smash the like button, get your love on, all the good stuff, please toss that out for me. I want to make sure we keep things active, keep things fun, right? So someone was asking about RVR. Thank you, newbie. Someone asked, when I say $100 risk, and let me go back into that a little bit. So I've always had, all right, real talk here. Any of you guys come from a really poor background, guys and gals? Any of y'all trying to get yourself into a new level by utilizing trading? Anybody in here ever spent 3 months sleeping in their car, showering at a YMCA, just scrounging, working in a McDonald's nights so that you could go to technical school during the days? You know what I'm saying? Anybody been through that stuff? It's real hard to start risking money in stock trading when you know how important $5 is to somebody with no money. You know what I mean? Grew up in a trailer on the edge of a farm. You know what I mean? Mom and dad didn't stay together, so ended up being mostly raised by my mom. You know what I mean? She worked late nights and hours so that she could be with me in the daytime, make sure I was doing my thing right. You know what I mean? It's difficult to get through that, right? That every time you take a trade and you lose $100, you think about, man, that $100 is so crazy. You know what I mean? So, and then, you know, and that can stagnate you very aggressively in the trading world, right? You know, that can really stagnate you, you know, in progressing in life, but especially the trading world, right? So for me, one of the big things that was really has been the actual, for me, actually, funny enough, finding regular trading success was not the hardest part of my journey, right? The hardest part of my journey was not screwing it up, right? Cutting trades too early that were working, holding trades too long that weren't working, right? You know, not, you know, like all of these different things, all of, you know, I've always been good at finding directionality. I've always been really good at, you know, basically understanding VPA and reading charts and all of that basic stuff. I've been able to do all of that stuff for a long time. I blew up my first account because I didn't want to accept loss that I knew was happening, right? I suffered for a long time because I was getting 1R when I should have been getting 4R. I was getting 2R when I should have been getting 4R, right? I was getting a half R when I should have got 4R. I was getting a negative, you know, I was just, it'll be right in the indicator, Gopal. All you'll have to do is pull it up and it'll be right here, options preset. It'll say, you can just select Thor mode, just like that. So, you know, honestly, folks, as we're working together through this YouTube channel over the next, you know, days, weeks, months, years, however long they keep me out here from 11 to 12, I'm here for you. This is going to be one of the main things we're really going to have to tackle. You know what I mean? I guarantee I can teach most of you every single aspect of trading you're going to want to know in 3 months. I know, I'm not going to say I know everything about trading because that would be super arrogant. I know a lot about trading, right? And I'm sure I can teach you all of that within a few months, 3 to 6 months. You know, hang out for my calls and my personality. I'll teach you how to trade real fast, right? Now, the problem is, though, is the stuff I'm talking about. I also learned how to trade fast. Took me a couple of years to become decently profitable. Why? Still up here, right? Like I was talking about at the beginning, I'm working with a performance coach, Dr. V, to help me get over this hurdle so I can start trading full-size contracts and risking $200 to $300 or even $500 so that I can make a couple grand. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, it's the same exact trade I take when it's $100. Why is it so much harder when it's 400? I've got, you know, now obviously it's a different degree of my trading account. I've got, you know, don't got $1 million account, you know, don't got really like a tenth of that, but it's enough. I generate more than enough money day to day to pay my bills and then some, right? You know, I'm a single dad, so I got kids to take care of. You know, I'm an only income source in the house, and I day trade for a living. So it's you know, it's a lot of work out here trying to get all of this stuff going on and keep this, you know, keep this going. But we're hustling, you know, and we're getting it done. But the hard part is psychologically staying focused and dealing with that, the fact that there is no difference in the market between you risking 200 and risking 500, right? You're not even a blip on the radar until you get around Andrew and Avi's level, right? You know, thanks, VT, until you get around like Andrew and Avi's level, I mean, you're not even like nobody even knows who you are in the market. You know what I mean? Like when you take positions, you know, like when Avi takes positions, I can see the order book structure changing as specialists are hedging. Right? When Andrew gets in and out of positions, I can see I can see the order book change as specialists start hedging. You know what I mean? So they're on the radar. Now, when you guys, we were talking, let's segue off of the RVR concept for a little bit, because one of the things I wanted to talk a little bit more about is ICT concepts. I'm Thor Young on Amazon, a complete day trading system. I want to talk a little bit about ICT, right? ICT concepts is there's actually a website for this. ICT, I just forgot the name of it. Oh my God. See, I was so happy I remembered what the contracts are. And now you can see why I was so high. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Such an idiot. Inner Circle Trader. Thank you. Inner Circle Trader. ICT stands for Inner Circle Trader. Anyone find it interesting that I use Camarilla pivot points? Right? Camarilla, obviously a Spanish word for cabal, right? Or a small group of individuals that are making, holistic decisions for a larger population. Right. And then we have ICT, which is inner circle trading. So Arik, I won't go too hard on it. Right. The reason why I want to talk about this, right, is not so I think ICT itself, Arik by itself, is actually quite invaluable, not invaluable, unvaluable, the opposite. Right. I think ICT by itself is about as handy as an ABCD pattern. Right. Well, it's a person who defined a concept, right? So yeah. So lots of people use ICT concepts, right? So right. Magic. So ICT by itself, like an ABCD pattern, a double top, an inverted head and shoulders, and all of those things don't really, they don't provide anything unless you put them in space, right? So, and this is kind of how ICT works, right? So if you put it in space, like you have a strong monthly level, you have a Camarilla pivot, you have some other isolated, you see a big selling block, you know what I mean? Something like that, right? They are very, very useful. Right. But if you just apply them into the ether, right, then fair value gaps, inverse fair value gaps, all of that stuff happens like 5,000 times a second. Right. It happens like 5,000 times a second. Right. So I agree with you in those concepts. Now, what ICT is basically trying to break down is what they call smart money concepts. Now, first off, I don't like the idea of calling it smart money, right? I don't know why it's called smart money. I guess they didn't want to call it like really big account money or something like that, or there wasn't like a better acronym for it, but there's nothing smart about smart money. Smart money can be very stupid. Smart money isn't smart money. Smart money is big money, right? Chris, smart money is just big money, right? It's large. We're going to get deep here. We got time. When you're talking about trading, most people don't understand how connected the market is. Okay. Like people don't realize how connected the market is, right? So at the bottom, we have mom and pop, right? 401k, you and me, Walmart, McDonald's, right? Once a quarter, you go in and you're going to go in there, get on the website, fill out the form if you're old school, right? And tell them what stocks you want. That is going to go to an institutional trader we'll talk about later who will purchase those stocks for you, right? But for now, that's about your involvement level of the market, right? You can go down to Charles Schwab office, you can go somewhere else and you can put in your orders. Those orders are going to be executed by a broker on your behalf, right? You're not even going to directly do the execution, right? So that's the bottom tier of interaction with the stock market. Your investor, right? Now, investors actually generate the vast majority of the volume. Ta-da! Right? So this is why we like to watch institutional movement, because you can see basically we're, a lot of things. This is also why we look for these quarterly movements, because this is generically when these offerings are offered to employees, and that sparks additional volume into the market as well, right? And there's all these different things going. Above them is what we call retail. Now, retail is a wide net to cast, right? But for now, let's separate out swing traders and put swing traders more into the mom and pop category. I do believe that swing traders are a very important asset, and they are interacting on a little bit closer of a scale. But for the most part, right, swing traders are they're basically doing the same thing that mom and pop is doing. They're just doing it in a slightly shorter time frame. But swing traders generically should be looking to be differentiated from overnight holding, right? If you're just holding overnight to sell the next day, that's practically a day trade, right? So I'm talking about you're buying today and you're going to hold for 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month. That's a swing trade, right? If you're taking a trade and you're not really looking for a dividend yield, you're just looking to make cash on it, guess what? That's actually a swing trade, right? So now we go up next level where we get into the next level of retail, right? Which is basically where a lot of us are sitting right now, right? You're interacting with the market. You're not, you're probably, this is where pattern day traders come into the category, right? So you're trading regularly. You have an account size that's big enough to meet these requirements, but you're not really generating enough volume into the market to really move things. Tesla going up. We're not really generating enough volume into the market to really make any kind of an impact. Above that is what we call pro-tail. All right. Pro-tail is a newly coined term that I think has really just been coming in really over the past year or so, which is what we like to consider to be, and this is what I consider to be that smart money area, right? Getting into that insider smart money area, right? Which is where we're what we call pro-tail, the accounts are getting a little bit larger, right? So I would consider myself probably at the bottom end of pro-tail. You know what I mean? Where, because I'm only trading a few contracts here and there, but I mean, I'm throwing around a 6-figure account and, and I'm loading up, I'm making some money on this thing, but even I don't really feel like I'm into that pro-tail area. I'm just barely nudging it now, maybe nudging it, kind of not willing to say I'm there, to be honest. Right. So now we have firm pro-tail, and I think this is going to replace the term smart money. I think they're really going to start calling it pro-tail, right? So you're talking the Tim Sykeses, you're talking the Andrews, you're talking the Avis, you're talking about massive share quantity and volume, millions of dollars, right, worth of positioning taken on an instant, right? Very aggressive initiative style positions, right? So basically the same thing you and I are doing, but with really big accounts. And this is who they're after. When you get caught and you get your stop run and you get so mad, why did they come for my stop? They didn't come for your stop. They came for Andrews. They didn't come for your stop. They came for Avis. They didn't come for your stop. They came for Tim Sykeses. Right? They don't care about you at all, people. I'm so sorry to let you know. I know enough market makers now to know that even though they're my friends and I take them out for drinks, they still don't care about me. Right? Like it doesn't matter. I'm not money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a big deal. I'm just a fish. Exactly. I love that. I'm just a fish. I'm not even a fish. I'm like a pariah. Right? I'm just latching on to the big whale, just eating the crap that comes off of it. Right? They're trying to get Andrew out, pig. When he has to cut at some point, and they want him. You know what I mean? They want him to, they're going to go after it. He's going to make $50,000, $60,000 a day, $30,000, $40,000 a day, $30,000, $50,000 a day, and then he's going to lose 50 or 60. They want that 50 or 60. You know what I mean? There's enough people out there losing money to let Andrew make money 4 days out of the week and give 1 day back. You know what I'm saying? But they want Andrew's money. The dude's he's a whale. The dude's rocking some big money out there, and he's buying very tight stops, with, spots that stop, where they know where to find him at. So this is why Andrew has to be so nimble. But this is one of the reasons why Andrew can't use hard stops sometimes, right? If Andrew uses hard stops, a lot of the times what happens is when the price wicks through those areas as they're hunting him, he'll get taken out. And he doesn't want to do that. He wants to let it come out. And if it looks in and closes engulfing, then breaks, he'll get out. But he doesn't want to get hit. Nav, technically, he's not on their radar, and neither is Avi, right? They just know they're there. They're looking for that kind of share volume. They're looking for supply side and buy side liquidity that they can utilize to traverse in between the varied orders, large orders on the book. You know what I'm saying? So they really, no one's technically on the radar. Like, for instance, if you go to the NYSE, right, and you're hanging out on the NYSE with people, one of the things you'll notice is that market makers on the NYSE, a lot of the times, they're not doing a thing. The NYSE is quiet. It's not an open outcry market anymore. You can't go, I want gold at the 3 and a quarter and 1 down spot 25. None of that's going on the NYSE anymore, right? It's an iPad. Well, actually, it's a tablet, right? Boop. Right, that's it. There's no open outcry allowed on the NYSE. Not true for the NYSE's option floor, for the record. Still open outcry on the NYSE options floor. Really fun thing. If you ever get a chance to go to the NYSE, if I'm there next time, I'll take you. Just let me know. I'll let you know next time I'm there. Maybe I can take a few people. Next time you're on the NYSE, ask if you can see the options floor, because it's really fun. They'll shoot you all kinds of weird, creepy looks because they don't know why you're there, because you shouldn't be, right? But it's really, really fun, right? So to look at. So now what happens, Raytrix? And this is, so for me, ICT, I don't actually use it with my trading. I believe being aware of it fundamentally is important. Like being aware of what is going on that is creating this, I think is more helpful than the actual indicators themselves, right? The audiobook is someone who is as country sounding as I am, but not me, because I found I couldn't get the thing. My book is significantly more expensive than Andrew's, but is worth it. All right, so basically so let me segue for 5 minutes on ICT here, just to kind of give you thank you. No. What part of Japan, by the way? I was born in Japan. I was born in Tachikawa. I was a military brat, but I was born off base, so I actually have a Japanese birth certificate. Don't speak Japanese, by the way. But yeah, I was born in Tachikawa. So my mother was in the military, Air Force. So I was actually born over there. So I am serious here to YouTube Landia, right? I am serious to YouTube Landia. I would love to travel a little bit more, and do some stuff. So if we can kind of figure out, like, I would love to do some like group classes and stuff like that. So one of the things I'm thinking about trying to work out is maybe trying to see, if there's who knows? I'll get it. I don't care. It's trying to work out, maybe trying to get out and work with some trading groups and stuff like that. So if that's something you feel like you're interested in, and trying to organize having me come out to hang out with you and your friends and your trading group, I really, as long as we can figure out how to like maybe help my travel a little bit, I'd be totally down on doing it. So you just Thor at bearbulltraders.com. Let me know what the heck. And then if I come out, obviously we do a meetup. So I know Bruz is trying to figure out how to get me out over across the pond. So I'd love to do that. But Japan, any of that stuff, I'd love to go to friggin' Dubai. So all right, into the indicator. That's what you're here, or ICT. So basically, what we're talking about right now is we're talking about algorithms, right? And reading algorithms. So the reason why ICT kind of has its place, I would say, is because when you understand that concept, where did my epic go? When you start to understand that concept, you really start to understand. Yeah, I do like trading. I already traded today. I showed them at the beginning. I took a full size NQ contract, and made around 2K on that one. And look at the move. My goodness. Mark, don't say anything. If Mark Douglas says anything about me not holding this still down to here, I don't want to talk about it. Thank you, Mark. Mark's like, hold for VWAP or go all the way for R3. Why not? Right? And I was just like, because I want my 2K. Yeah, that'd have been like a 4K trade. So don't talk to me, Mark. Moving on. But I also hit Google for a lovely short on Google, which was more or less the same thing. Still going. I know, look where I went out. 172.20. Come on. Yeah, oh, you let go of it. Good. At least you waited for a moving. Look how this thing just beautifully trended the 23. I like using everyone little cheat code here on the moving averages. I know everyone has their own versions. I love the 23 on the 1 minute. It's the 20 with an offset, basically, so the wicks don't hit it as often. It's a lovely look. It didn't cross it until right here. Absolutely beautiful. And then this is the 50. And I do the same thing. I do a 57 just so I have a little bit of an offset because I don't like the wicks to go through my lines. So I have a little bit of an offset here. But if you waited for the cross of the two, you would have been out right there for the exit. Really, really pretty. 27 and sorry, 23. I'm so sorry, Water Dude. You're correct. 23 and 57. Just little offsets. So those were the trades. All right. Now, I promise I'm going to do this. All right. I'm not going to get distracted for 5 minutes and explain this concept, I promise. So we have here, I have ADHD, by the way, people. So throwing a moving YouTube chat in front of me at the same time, I mean, help me out. You know what I'm saying? So you can see here that we have on the ICT, right, area, right? So in this concept, inner circle trading concept, right? So basically what we're doing is we are watching the amount of volume that comes in and how the algorithm responds to volume, right? So what happens is, let's say this is the open, and you open and you get this really big bullish engulfing bar. Now, why does the open have so much volume at the open? Anybody know why? It's actually a very simple concept that very few people understand, but give me a hands up. Anybody, what type of, it's a specific order cluster type that comes through, an order type that comes through at the open. Ben's already got it. What are those called, Ben? What type of order is that? Newbie for the assist. MOO orders, right? So if you think the market's going to be really strong, you set out MOO orders, right? It's called a market on open order, right? So right at the beginning, as soon as the stock market opens, that big pop that you get right at the beginning of the day is all the MOO orders firing, right? Anyone who wanted to get in, and they wanted to get in right now, right? This is why you don't generically like to play the opening bar, because the opening bar is all kinds of nobody paying attention, right? It's literally just market on open orders that are firing. So if a lot of people wanted to buy at the open, and a lot of people wanted to sell at the order. Now, this is why the opening candle can be a telltale sign of what's to come, right? Because if you get an opening candle instead of this that looks like this, right? That's a real different look, right? So we can actually, so like if we came in here and even if we had a ton of buying, but we ended up only being able to close slightly higher with all the buying, what would that insinuate, by the way? If we came in at the open and all the MOO orders came through and we ended up with a candle that looks like this. What did the specialists decide to do? Let's say it was a lot of buying. What's that mean? It means that the specialists, aka market makers, decided to distribute into the buying. Right? So when you bought, they emptied their inventory into your buying. Right? So if the market maker or the specialist is selling into your buying, it's probably not going to go up. You know what I mean? So you got to really pay attention to the absorption level there. So let's say we closed here, but the volume, because it was all MOO orders. So the next thing that's going to happen, because this was a buy candle, and remember, any candle that closes, let's use a bar. Let's use a bar candle. Any candle that opens, right, and then closes higher is what we call a buy candle. Any candle that opens and closes lower is what we call a sell candle, right? So if this is a buy candle, the next candle is going to immediately, right, offer high, right? So as soon as the next candle opens, right, and if you start watching price action, you will see this. Since this is a buy candle, it's going to open and it's going to immediately offer up. As soon as it offers up, if no one buys premium there, it will immediately offer the midline. Right now, this is this is where the ICT starts to come in, right? This happens on every single candle on every single time frame, right? All the way up the lat. So you can see here, this candle breaks down into 3 areas: premium, value, and discount, right? So this buy candle, if you can't get people to buy premium, they are then going to offer value. If no one buys value, they're going to offer discount to the buyers on this next candle. This next second candle here is all about the buyers. So when you see a strong buy candle, the next candle is all about the buyers. And that's how you want to look at it, right? If on the second candle, do we keep buying or do we start selling, right? If this sells and closes as a sell candle, right? Let's erase now some of this stuff, right? So let's say we open, actually, let's get rid of this one too. Oh boy, too much, too aggressive. Let's say we open up and we come down to the sell side. And as we come down to the sell side, our volume drops. Right? We had big volume on the way up, but now as we come back to the sell side, our volume actually drops. This is an ABCD and is what we're looking for. We want to see them come back to that mid-level, offer it. And if they offer it and buy off of it, we're going to long here using that mid-level as our stop. And this is what your 1 minute, your 5 minute, your ABCD, your cup in your handle, AKA fair value gap. Right? Because what's happening is the algorithm is offering these areas of value, right? And this does happen, right? So whether you like the concepts or not, non-debatable, this is absolutely what the algorithm does, right? The algorithm is going to offer these varied value spots. So one of the biggest things as a new trader when you're reading price action is to start by actually identifying your candles as buy or sell candles. Opens, closes high, buy candle. If that's a buy candle, I want to watch it open and see how it handles the buy side. If it goes to the buy side and then it comes down and it sells, right, then I want to see what happens when it offers the sell side. If it comes back up and closes here, now we've sold. This becomes a sell candle. If we open, we're going to offer the sell side. If we sell through the sell side, that confirms that as an isolated pivot. Right? If it closes under it, we're going to look to short the sell side and we'll put our stop above the buy side. If we go up and buy premium, we're wrong, we get out. Right? And that is and that's how I trade. Right? So so here's my positioning on NQ. Watch how this works. Right? Really strong candle, but it doesn't close at its high. So it does have some inherent weakness. Our response to that offer, some fairly high volume selling, but no engulfing. So it's not a short yet. The response to that was an attempt to buy premium without success, looking very weak right here. Right? We then push up, and when we get our large buying volume, what happens? No movement. Right? This should have been a very large engulfing bar. It was not. Topside wick. Again, attempt to buy premium. No movement. Buy candle, sell candle. All right, what happens at the sell candle? Can we move lower? No, we move up. Can we close inside? We buy premium. When we buy premium, does our volume come in? It does not. Right, so at this point, we're at ATR high, and every attempt to buy premium is truncated or on low volume. So this looks like a solid reversal setup. Right? So you should be able to see it. But if not, it is through the YouTube. I'll try and draw. So premium right here, and it's looking very weak at this point. So now it hits ATR high right there after 1 sell candle and 2 sell candles. And then when it makes that new low, that's where I get in. Yep, 1 minute. I get in when it cracks that new low and my stop goes above the high side, right? So if it had swept the high side, I would have been out. And then as it made new lows until I hit my target, bam. So my Google trade exactly the same. Got a little bit in a little earlier on the Google, and I didn't wait for that sell side. So, and see here, this is what I did wrong on Google. So Google, I really liked the call, and I went ahead and got short here, and I threw my stop above the high. It worked because I was in the right spot and I had the right time. The book looked great. But notice if I had have waited for 2 sell side candles before entering, right, on a new low, it would have been so much better. Look, here's 1 sell candle, here's 2 sell candles, right? If I'd have entered there, I could have, you know, or sorry, I didn't get the break. So we had 1 sell, 2 sell, didn't work. We bought off 1 sell, 2 sell, there's the break. Boom, right there. Stop could have been above there or there. It would have been almost the same exact position, but it would, but afterwards, look at the lack of pullback. Right? This was a solidly directional move afterwards. So this is why it's nice to pace out a little bit, to really get in, wait for that those couple of sell candles and then hit that new low, right? Because it really allows you to get your stop into a more confirmed place. And, you know, and if you do that, like you can even see here, like I got a little retest, but mostly once I got going, I mean, it was really, really clean. So cool. All right, everybody, it is Friday and it is noon. So just a reminder, Thor mode coming out next week. Also, really appreciate your being here with me. Thumbs ups, likes, shares. I'm going to have my buddy Nathan back on next week. Maybe try and talk the good Dr. V into swinging by. So if y'all like those ideas, make sure you show up and I'll see you there. Otherwise, any questions you have, bring them to me. Email me if you need anything. Talk to y'all soon. Keep it green. Much love.